Hello everybody and welcome to Gathering Information. It is set review time here.
Wow, I can't believe it's here already.
Yep, set review for Ixalan. We are going to review every single card in Ixalan over the next couple of days or videos if you're watching this all in a row, if you have that sort of stamina. This here is the creature and creature-like spell review. So we'll be going through every creature in the set of Ixalan, plus every spell that is basically a creature. Those are the things like Raise the Alarm or Flurry of Horns in the past that have just made creature tokens. We figure their main point is to make bodies, and that's what they do.
Yep.
This is, of course, a primarily limited set review. We enjoy draft and sealed above all else, and we're trying to get you ready for the pre-release. So we'll be putting things into a sealed context, and we're going to try to give you some idea of the metrics of the set. So today we're doing the creatures so that tomorrow we know how the removal stacks up against the power and toughnesses involved.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the actual cards, there are a few things that we need to tell you about Ixalan. This is a primarily tribal-based set, so there are a few things that matter when we're looking at creatures beyond the power and toughness and what they do. Mostly they're creature types, and the key creature types are vampires. Vampires are the black and white tribe. Flavor-wise, they're kind of like the Spanish conquerors. They're of the Church of Dusk, and there are many there's a few cards that make these 1/1 lifelink vampire tokens. So when we're talking about the token makers for vampires, this is the token. As a creature type, vampires are fairly prevalent. They're 15 vampires across 2 colors.
And that's not including the rares or mythics?
Right. When I'm using numbers, I'm just using the commons and uncommons, because any given rare is only going to show up once per draft, maybe, and the commons should be around 2 to 3 times per draft. So vampires are going to be fairly easy to pick up, but they are only in the 2 colors, black and white. Next, we have merfolk. Merfolk, the traditionally blue creature type, are appearing in blue and green.
Ooh.
And these 1/1 merfolk have hexproof.
Sweet.
That is pretty sweet. I like that. And I really like the art that they're going with for the merfolk. It seems like there's not so much deep sea as merfolk that live along a river.
Yeah,
You know?
I find that really interesting, but it pulls into the green.
Yeah.
So it makes it really work well for a Simic combo.
We're going to see a lot of lush jungles and vegetation. And anyway, the blue/green, there are 16 merfolk, and they're, like I said, in the 2 colors, blue and green. Next up, we have pirates. These 2/2 black pirate creature tokens that have menace. Traditionally, you'd see a zombie in this slot, but in this set, they're pirates.
Which is cool.
And I can't tell you yet, but maybe we'll be seeing some zombie pirates later on. Who knows? As creature tokens, though, I can't remember what makes this outside of a mythic, but I know there are a few things. As for pirates in the set, they appear in blue, black, and red. And there are 28 of them spread between the 3 colors at common and uncommon, plus rares and mythics. So 28 is a clear jump from 15 or 16, but as this looks like it's going to be a set where you're drafting primarily 2-color decks, you're going to see about as many of them in your deck as any of the other tribes. And then finally, we have Dinosaurs. These 3/3 dinosaur tokens with trample are made again by one of the mythics, but there's at least an uncommon red creature, I think, that makes them. These come up a bunch. There are, of course, other tokens, but these are the ones that are primary tribes of Ixalan. So dinosaurs appear in white, red, and green, and there are 26 of them at common and uncommon. And they tend to be a bit bigger than the other creatures. Like, big dumb dinos is an archetype, right? So, so we'll get to see a bunch of large dino archetypes across those 3 colors. Other creature types that we care about. Soldiers, clerics, shaman.
There are a handful of
wizards or warriors. Warriors tend to be merfolk, though, and the soldiers tend to be vampires, although there are some human soldiers. So if you're in white, you might think about the soldier type mattering. Like we said, there are going to be tribal mechanics in this set, and in a lot of the artifacts, at least, you get to pick your tribe. So we'll see that coming up.
There's one big one that you haven't mentioned.
There is one big one.
Who's got more than any of the other tribes, actually.
There are 30 humans at common and uncommon, and they are across almost all of the colors. There didn't seem to be any green humans. I guess the merfolk are kind of the green tribe. But white, blue, black, and red all have humans. Some are pirates, some are soldiers, some are scouts or shaman or whatever. So we'll get to see that as we go. Anyway, without further ado, shall we jump right into it?
Absolutely.
So, like we've said, as this is a tribal set, we've decided to start with the gold-colored cards because that should show us sort of where the tribes are situated. Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are in green, white, and red. So here is our green-white uncommon. Belligerent Brontodon. 5 green-white for a dinosaur at uncommon. He's a 4/6. 4/6 for 7 is not quite as big as I'd want, but he has each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
Oh boy.
I love this guy.
I knew you would, because
Assault
Formation is back.
Assault Formation is back, and it can attack.
Yeah. It seems like a build around me.
Oh, absolutely. And in green and white, those are the creature colors. So the dinosaurs are probably going to have big butts.
You like big butts. You cannot lie. You knew that was coming, right?
Moving right along. Where would you
next.
pick this? I would first pick it and build around.
If I didn't have a stronger mythic or rare, this is something I would happily grab and build around.
The only problem with this is 7 mana, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of fixing, although there may be ramp. We'll find that out when we get there. But as this looks like it might be going a little longer than, some formats that we've had recently, I think this could be a build around. It will be the kind of thing that can at least break a board stall. Like if you've got a bunch of 1/5s and then you drop this.
Well, that's what would make this higher casting cost work, is because if you're getting things with huge butts, they act as game stalls anyway. So if you're running them in, I don't think I saw any walls, but if you say we're running walls, that kind of slows down the board state a lot, and then later on you just turn them into, as long as they're creatures that can attack, you suddenly turn them into smashies.
Yep. All right, so next in black-white, we've got 2 white-black for a sorcery. So a sorcery speed effect that makes 3 of those 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink. As we said before, we've included this among the creatures because it's basically a creature.
Well, 3 creatures.
3 creatures. So 3/3 for 4 across 3 bodies with lifelink. This is also one that I would pick fairly highly. Although I don't think I'd first pick this, at least starting out, just because it is in 2 colors, and you're going to be forced into that deck.
Yeah, I can see where that's a thing, but I have a feeling that that's going to change when we realize that how many vampires you come across, and that you're quite frequently going to want that.
Okay.
But I guess we just see. It seems fine to me. It seems perfectly playable. I would probably first or second pick it.
Okay, all right. Next we have Deadeye Plunderers. 3 blue-black for a creature, human pirate, at uncommon. She's a 3/3, or they're 3/3s. Deadeye Plunderers gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So, I don't know how many artifacts that are actually playable.
Well,
but
here's the thing. There are a gajillion things that create treasure artifact tokens.
you mean treasure, like the thing that if you pay 2 blue-black, she gets to create?
Yeah.
Create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap and sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So this is our first idea of seeing both fixing and ramp, is these treasure tokens. And she gets to make them. Now, it costs 4 mana, but, you know, if you want to splash a huge thing, you're probably going to be okay with spending 4 mana a couple of times, especially when it's buffing her up.
Well, yeah, and as you're going to see as we go through all of the cards, there are a lot of things that create these treasure tokens anyway. So this could be a very, very strong card in a deck.
So she's a 3/3 for 5 naturally, and then depending on whether you've already gotten some treasure tokens or whether you want to spend time making treasure off of her, she can easily become a 4/4 or a 5/5. Where would you pick this?
So early in the format, I don't want to first pick this.
Okay.
Once I see how strong blue-black is as a deck, I will, if it turns out that, yeah, it's a force and it has different iterations, then I will more likely want to pick it and build around it.
Well, I think Grixis Pirates is probably going to be a thing because the pirates tend to be the ones making these treasure tokens.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little easier to get a blue-black-red deck together than, say, any other 3-color combination.
Absolutely. And it's fine, even in and of itself. I mean, a 3/3 for 5 isn't great.
Yeah.
But it's one card that you're picking. And if there's nothing else, then yeah, I think that's bottom line for me. If there isn't a really strong rare or, you know, amazing removal spell, I'll probably just grab it. And
I'd pick her up if I'm already in the deck, absolutely.
yeah, seems like a good addition.
Dire Fleet Captain. This is the other side of the pirates. A black-red for a 2/2 orc pirate at uncommon. Whenever Dire Fleet Captain attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other attacking pirate.
Slam first pick for me.
So we're seeing here pirate. The word pirate. It matters to this card. You want to slam first pick this?
It's in black and red, which is one of my favorite combos.
Okay.
I already know, because spoilers, I peeked ahead, and I know there are a ton of pirates in red and black. It's an archetype I want to be in, and it's a bear, but it also has a relevant thing that you're going to be able to easily take advantage of.
Okay. So I'm not going to first pick this. I'm going to pick it up as soon as I know I have pirates, because if you get to play it on turn 2, if you have black-red on turn 2, it's just attacking for 2 on turn 3, which is fine, but any other bear does that.
Yep, but you're also going to find in red that there's a lot of really neat little ways to get him in for damage later on. So yeah, I want to build something out of this.
Okay. Finally, in the pirate vein, we've got Marauding Looter. 2 blue-red for a human pirate at uncommon. She's a 4/3. Ooh, a 4/3. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked with a creature this turn, not necessarily her, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. I'll be taking that.
Yeah.
I really like this because it's so flavorful. You have to maraud to loot. It's very pirate-esque.
It really is.
The raid mechanic is back. It's a pirate mechanic in this set. We last saw it in Mardu, or we first saw it in Mardu.
I've always been a fan of raid. I know some people aren't, but I really enjoy it.
I really like it too. I think it makes for interesting combat. In limited where you want to be attacking anyway, hopefully.
It just adds a layer of complexity to what your opponent is doing.
This is one of the ones I think I would first pick and then go in, because if you're playing it on 4, you already have a creature. In blue, possibly you have a flyer. So
Maybe.
all you need to do is get in to loot. I think I like this quite a bit. I'm not saying it's a bomb. It's definitely not. But it's utility. And
it's functional, that's
looters
for sure.
are always good.
Yep. I don't think I'd first pick it necessarily unless there was something else that wasn't grabbing my attention. What makes me more likely to is, as you said, Grixis looks like it's could be a strong 3-color deck, and that appeals to me. Blue-red as a combo was my first favorite combo a long time ago. Less so now, but I definitely would highly pick this. A 4/3 for 4 is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. The looting is what really puts it over the edge. All right, next we have Raging Swordtooth. This is 3 red, green for a creature dinosaur at uncommon. It's a 5/5, so a 5/5 for 5.
Sure.
With trample.
Yeah.
Yup. Did Colossopede have trample? That was a 5/5 for 5, right?
Maybe. Probably.
Now, when Raging Swordtooth enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each other creature. So long vampire tokens, which, as you can see, are in the foreground there.
Yeah, I love this guy. Because the deck that I'm putting him in, I really don't care if it does 1 damage to each other creature.
You control. Yeah, like...
Sure.
If it does damage to your opponent's creatures, that may just wipe their board.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the first real indication, I think, that they're planning on going long. Like, this could be a board wipe against an aggro deck, you know? We haven't seen any 1 toughness things so far.
I have the metrics on that, and there are many.
Are there?
Oh,
okay.
Yes. Oh,
all right.
Yes.
Where would you pick this guy? Is he first pick?
No, I think I want to be in red-green. I say that now because...
See, I think I'd first pick this guy because if I'm going in green, I assume I'm going to be able to splash him.
And my only hesitation is the fact that traditionally I'm not a big green player. But I think my decision is the wrong one.
Okay.
But I'm speaking from a what I enjoy playing perspective.
I just think these cards seem strong.
So far, so good.
Strong, but also the mana has been dialed up. They're not exactly aggressively costed. I mean, this one kind of, except he's in 2 colors.
And here's something that I'm going to comment on ad nauseum, is the art.
Yeah.
Now, what is the thing that's near his mouth?
It looks like yet another vampire who's just been tossed into the air.
Oh, poor Vampy. Yeah.
It looks like he swung his tail and is about to catch food.
I love the colorful artwork in this set. It's pretty amazing.
Read the flavor text.
Carnivorous dinosaurs developed a taste for undead flesh, tracking the vampires by the scent of blood on their breath. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Okay, then. Moving on.
All right, now, Shapers of Nature.
Ooh.
1 green, blue for our first merfolk, Shaman, at uncommon. It's a 3/3 for 3. So remember how I said these aren't aggressively costed? Yikes. Seems to have been a vanilla test adjustment in this set. So they're a 3/3 for 3 in 2 colors. It has 2 activated abilities. For 3 and a green, you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature.
Ooh, sure.
For 2 and a blue, you can remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control. You get to draw a card.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this. A 3/3 for 3 is fun to start with.
Yep, and just being able to pump it or anything else up at instant speed, like you're swinging in with 4 mana open, that's an awkward combat, right?
Yeah.
Like you're probably using your whole turn to do it, but it's a combat trick you don't have to pay a card for.
You're also not tapping to do it, so, later game, I mean, even in the last set, you would sometimes get to 8 or 9 mana. So picture, you're sitting there at 8 mana. You really don't have anything to play, but you can and it's not even pumping. It's putting permanent counters, and the drawing a card. Oh,
now you're taking a counter off to do that.
Sure, but that's fine.
What do you think, Draft Cat?
He's come to visit to tell you what he thinks of Ixalan.
So where would you pick this up?
I would probably first pick this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd like to build around it?
I would.
You like going all in?
The last set taught me nothing if not the value of card draw.
Yeah.
And I've been turned. So, yeah, I think I would first pick this. This just seems like excellent value. Again, it's even at the 3 for 3. I'm sold. Granted, it is in 2 colors, but it's in 2 colors that a valid archetype is sitting in. So, yeah, I think I would probably... Unless there was something more in my flavor of play, I still think I would probably first pick it. It's
hard because we haven't discussed, like, any of the single color things,
no.
And now we're rating the 2 color.
Yeah.
It's a little... it's interesting. All right, moving along. The last one. Skyterror. Red, white for a 2/2. 2/2 for 2. In 2 colors. Well, it's got flying.
I think this is my favorite, and I think this is one of the cards that I am the most excited about.
Yeah?
It is a flying menace, 2/2 for 2.
Yeah. It's funny because it's got 2 forms of evasion, but they actually stack really well against each other because if your opponent has one other flyer in their deck, they can't even hope to block this.
Yep.
You know?
It's sitting in my all-time favorite combo for aggressive stuff. Flyers are my favorite creature. So this just... and I mean, granted, we're mostly talking about limited, but this is definitely going to see play in other formats.
You think?
It's that 2/2 flyer that they've been waiting for.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's pretty sweet.
So you may have noticed, if you were astute, that we're at the end of the uncommons, and we're missing 2 color pairs. So there is no white-blue
creature at
uncommon, and there is no black-green creature or anything at uncommon. So it's strange. They usually do the full cycle of 10, but in this case, white-blue doesn't seem to have gotten anything, and black-green doesn't seem to have gotten anything to push you in those directions. They're really pushing the tribal more than the colors in this set.
Now, there is going to be a black-green at Mythic?
Yeah, we'll get there. It's about to come up.
But I don't think there is a blue-white in any, is there?
There's not, but when we get to Jace the Planeswalker, we'll talk about how I think he's a white-blue card. Anyway, moving along to the rares and mythics, we have Admiral Beckett Brass.
Oh, that's a name. I like that. 1
blue, black, red for a legendary creature, human pirate at Mythic. She's a 3/3.
Is that a she?
He's a 3/3? I don't know. I just assume all these fancy people are she's.
They are a 3/3? Sure. It's for me.
It looks like an old guy, maybe. I don't know.
Whatever.
Human pirate, a 3/3 for 4, but other pirates you control get +1/+1. So this is a pirate lord. And at the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who was dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. So, talk about flavor. Beckett buffs your other pirates, and then if you've attacked with 3 of them, you can see them in the background there, you get to maraud your opponent's stuff.
Yep. I think, like any other lord, I am first picking this all day, and I'm going for it.
You're just gonna go for it.
Well, it's the same as grabbing a Pride Sovereign, first pack one, pick one. You know what you're doing with it.
So I think you have to be a little careful with that, but if you're primarily in 2 of those 3 colors, and you can splash this off of a A treasure?
Well, you're doing pirates, so
Yeah.
you're going to have some of those floating around inevitably. So
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty sweet card.
I think you're right. And I think it's strong enough to first pick, absolutely.
I'm wondering if there is going to be a tribal commander deck.
Well, pirate deck?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that would be super fun.
It-
Grixis Pirates.
Yeah, well,
I'm non-competitive in my commander play, so I just want something that's flavorful and fun.
It's funny because the last two commander decks that were Grixis were not entirely there, you know? But this one seems like, you know, they've got a plan.
I think I'd put King Makar in it for flavor, just for gold value.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Next up, we have Gish Off Sun's Avatar. Now, we didn't mention the Avatar creature type, but there is a, I believe, cycle of rare or mythic avatars.
Okay.
So if you're lucky enough to open a bunch of mythics, maybe you can go Avatar Tribal. Anyway, 5 red, green, white for a legendary creature, Dinosaur Avatar at Mythic. It is a 7/6 for 5, 6, 7, 8. But she's got Trample, Vigilance, and Haste. So when you drop your 8th land, you can swing in that turn for 7 and still block with Gish Off. Mm-hmm. Now, whenever Gish Off Sun's Avatar deals combat damage to a player, and remember, it's got Trample, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, you want to be heavy dinosaur tribal with this, because if, let's say, they have a 6/6, you'll get in for 1 point of damage, reveal a card, and then probably put it on the bottom, right? So
you're still killing their 6/6.
you're still killing their 6, trading with their 6/6.
That was probably smashing you in the face. So
now let's say they have, I don't know, a couple of 4/4s. Mm-hmm. You're going to trade with one, and then this is going to die, and it's going to do nothing.
Sure, but
right?
Just like any other 7/6 that you're paying a ridiculous amount of money for.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at, though. The 7/6 is a little awkward for 8 mana. Like, I bet they heavily play tested this to make sure that it wasn't broken. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
But I assume they balanced it well, because, I mean, if you get in for 3 or 4 or 5 and you have a lot of dinosaurs, you're just getting a free creature, and that's going to be huge, right? Mm-hmm. Well, because your dinosaurs are probably going to be huge.
Yeah. For me, he's kind of like Nico Bolas. You know, if there's nothing else like super fantastic in rare or uncommon in the pack you open, of course you're going to grab this, and then it's going to go into your pile, and you're going to think, maybe I'll get there, maybe I'll go there.
So you think it's probably never going to get played?
I think it will get played sometimes. It's really hard right now because we're coming off of a very fast format. I mean, the last half of the block wasn't as fast, but we just don't know. Like, how good is the ramp in those tokens going to be?
Well, we're going to find out, and it's not just the treasure tokens. I mean, this is in green, and that's traditionally the ramp color. So when we get to green, we'll find out how good the ramp is.
Yeah, but on its surface, I think this is quite powerful.
Yeah.
Trample, Vigilance, and Haste. So, yeah.
So you don't even need a creature to just win a game with this.
Yeah.
But if there's something else that can block it... Now, if they don't have anything to block it, then you're golden. But
yeah, and I think
would be with a 7 power thing anyway.
Right? I mean, there are 5/5 bombs that you're like, oh. I mean, Colossopede comes down and you're like, oh, why did you play that card? Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
Moving on.
Hostage Taker.
Uh-oh.
Let's all read this one very carefully, folks. 2 blue-black for a 2/3 human pirate at rare. When Hostage Taker enters the battlefield, exile another target artifact or creature until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. Now, you'll notice that I added a word there. That's because...
Hey, Steph, there was no word there. What's going on?
This card has been errated before release, but after printing. So, as you see on screen, as it will appear in the packs, but it's going to be important to know, especially at the pre-release, it cannot target itself. It does say another on the rules text.
So what you're telling me is you can't win the game by breaking the game.
Right.
Dang it.
You can also not just lock the game and then draw it. Mm-hmm. But there's more text. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast that spell. I like that word type because it would usually say color, but now it's saying you can cast Ulamog off of this because it costs colorless, but that's a type of mana.
So what you're saying is your opponent can have their bomb sitting on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. You bring this down, you exile it.
Yep.
And then when you have the correct amount of mana, doesn't matter what the color is.
That's right.
You may cast their creature.
That's absolutely correct.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
So I'm going to call this a first pick bomb.
Oh gosh, yes.
Even at a 4-mana O-ring creature, it seems fine.
It's good, yeah.
And then being able to 2-for-1 your opponent, basically, yeah, it is pretty sweet.
Oh, it's awesome.
All right, first Planeswalker, and the Planeswalker here is in the creature spot because it primarily makes creatures, I think. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see all 3 of the Planeswalkers in this set. Mm-hmm. In the creature review, because I think their primary role is to make creatures.
Okay.
So, Hotly, Warrior Poet, is 3 red-white. There's your red-white.
Yeah.
For a legendary Planeswalker. Actually, let's pause there for a minute. Legendary Planeswalker, in case you haven't caught up to date, Planeswalkers are now all legendary.
So are you telling me every Planeswalker can now be a commander?
No.
Damn it.
You cannot have Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, as your commander, even though it's a legendary land. Commanders have to be legendary creatures. This is a legendary Planeswalker.
So still only the Planeswalkers that say may be used as a commander.
That's right.
Just wanted to clarify that for everyone.
Yep. But she is legendary, which means that if you have more than one of her on the battlefield, you have to sacrifice one. Mm-hmm. But if they ever make another Hotly, like the one from the Planeswalker decks, mm-hmm. you can now have one of each of those on the battlefield at the same time.
So you can make a standard deck with and have both of them on the battlefield.
Yes.
Sweet.
All right, so what does she do? Well, she's a 3 loyalty Planeswalker for 5 mana. Her +2 is you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Sweet. So in a red-white deck, that's going to be, what, 2 life?
I don't think 2 is the correct number.
She's a Naya Planeswalker. Like, she's a red-white-green Planeswalker. She's meant for a red-white-green deck, I think.
Wait till we get to the white and red creatures. They have higher power than you think.
So her 0, the reason she's in the creature review, is that she makes one of those 3/3 green dinosaur creature tokens with trample.
And here's the thing. Who cares if you're only gaining 1 life? You're not doing it to gain the life. You're doing it to pump up your Planeswalker so you can happily leave it sitting on the field creating 3/3s for you.
I would be happy just zeroing her all day and making 3/3s.
Because the 3/3s can block her all day.
Yep. Block for her.
Yep.
And then her -X, so she doesn't really have an ultimate, but Hotly Warrior Poet deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Creatures dealt damage this way can't block this turn. I said she didn't really have an ultimate, but if you, let's say, drop her, make 3 3/3s off of her, and then -3 her, assuming she hasn't been hit, you can deal 1 damage to each of your opponent's creatures and get in for 9. Mm-hmm. That's assuming that your opponent isn't doing anything. But, I mean, I see this as the line of play. Gaining life is going to be only relevant if you are in a race, which in a red-white deck you might be, or to tick up that X so that you can minus her for more, right? You could do the damage directly to your opponent's face.
She's so good. And the art.
No, sorry, any number of target creatures.
Fair enough.
So not
Doesn't matter. She's so good. And look at that art. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
She's a planeswalker. You're going to first pick her. You're going to put her in your deck. You're going to make your opponents freak out because you've got a planeswalker. But aside from that, I think she's pretty sweet.
I think she's pretty balmy.
Yeah. Next, we have Regisaur Alpha, the old Tyrannosaurus Rex. 3 red-green for a 4/4 dinosaur at rare. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. When Regisaur Alpha enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. So, for 5 mana, you get a 3/3 and a 4/4. And the 3/3 has haste.
And why is this not
And
at
trample.
Mythic?
Because they
It's
ran out of Mythic space.
And it's in green-red.
Yeah.
It's in 2 color. But it's just so... I don't know when you would not pick this.
You're getting
so
7
sweet.
power and toughness for 5 mana.
For 2 bodies
And 3 of it has haste and trample.
Oh.
Yeah. This seems good. First pick. All day.
Yep. Enough said.
Tishanna, Voice of Thunder. Look at that. Dancing merfolk.
Pretty.
5 green-blue for a legendary creature, Merfolk Shaman at Mythic. Tishanna, Voice of Thunder's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. So that alone makes it not great, because at 7 mana, she's probably going to be the last thing in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
But
continue.
You have no maximum hand size, so if you can get into a draw all the cards deck, which, blue is good at that, maybe she'll be a little bigger. Now, when she enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control.
Now, I think that's where you're looking at the excitement of this card.
Mm-hmm. So she's at least going to be a 1/1.
Yep.
A 1/1 for 7.
But if she's drawn you 6 cards...
So this has to be in 2 kinds of... Well, it really only has to be in a creature-heavy deck.
Yep.
But this is strange. I don't know how to
I think it's a
this.
really cool card to refill your hand later in the game.
I think she's an interesting merfolk commander.
There is a lot of smaller costed merfolk that you're going to see.
It's true.
There's a lot of stuff in blue and green that isn't 6 and 7 and 5 mana, that is less than that.
It's true.
So you could go wider than... I mean, you'd normally see this kind of... If this was in white and red...
Well, then you wouldn't be drawing cards, because white and red
because
don't get
they
card
don't
draw.
like to draw cards. But if you were, you'd
it
be
does
like...
feel like a Jeskai card,
Holy
though, right?
crap, that's amazing.
No, it feels like a blue-green card. It's just that you need to craft a deck for this.
Sure, but I think sticking this at your top end of a creature deck, if you're doing a Simic deck,
Your extreme top end.
I think that's... Well, we'll see how it goes,
So
right?
in Standard, I want to have all the mana dorks and this, and then win by decking myself.
No, you gotta think bigger.
But what do you do with it in draft?
You hope that you get a bunch of the things that makes the hexproof 1/1s.
All right. Yeah, the merfolk. Do you first pick it?
If there's nothing else that is like amazing, it's a mythic. Of course, I'm first picking it anyway.
Fair enough. How good is it though?
I think it can be really powerful. I also think it can be. I mean, the thing is, if you're behind, this sucks.
Yeah, this does literal nothing. If you're
literal, you don't even get creatures. So you need to at least have drawing a card for 7 mana
and chumping.
Yeah, that's harsh and gross. And
Yeah.
this is a win more card for sure. But I like the idea. I kind of think that this might work better in a constructed format.
Yeah, I don't think she's. I'm gonna say I don't think she's limited playable at all.
No,
really.
I think she's maybe top end, possibly. But
all right.
I'm still probably first picking because she is a mythic, and we want to have
me too.
all the cards in the set.
Well, plus I'm gonna try to make her work. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a dreamer.
Alright, Vona, Butcher of Magan, is 3 white-black for a legendary creature, Vampire Knight. At Mythic, the Conquistador. A 4/4 Vigilance Lifelink for 5. What do you think of that?
Sign me up. It's in colors I like.
Yeah.
It's
4/4
an irrelevant
Vigilance Lifelink for 5.
And it's Vampire Knight.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, so the other ability is you can tap and pay 7 life to destroy target non-land permanent.
Oh.
Period.
Sure.
Including planeswalkers.
Good gravy.
Including creatures, artifacts, whatever you want.
Oh my.
Activate this ability only during your turn. So
sure, whatever.
You can do it in the middle of combat.
On your turn.
On your turn. You can attack because it's got vigilance. You can attack and then destroy something.
Pay 7 life, destroy their one thing, and know you're going to get 4 of it back when you hit them in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
First pick, slam it.
First pick.
I'm picking it all day.
Yep.
Finally.
Oh.
Our black-green card. 4 black-green for Raska Relicseeker. She's a 6-mana legendary planeswalker Vraska at Mythic. Her +2, create a 2/2 black pirate creature token with menace. You remember those guys?
I do.
The things that would be zombies in any other set, but are 2/2 pirates with menace. So, 6 mana, make a 2/2.
Or 6 mana, make a 2/2 to protect her.
Uh-huh. And then her -3 is destroy target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So she makes treasure and destroys a thing.
Yep.
Or she creates a 2/2 menacey pirate to plunder with.
Yep.
Her -10 is target player's life total becomes 1.
Yep.
That seems pretty gross. I don't know if you're ever really getting her to her ultimate.
She comes down with 6 loyalty, and you can plus her up. So she's
7,
at
8,
8.
9, 10.
Next turn, she's at 10. The next turn, you can -10 her.
Sure. Assuming nothing goes wrong. Which, I mean, you've got pirates, so sure.
And you assume that with every planeswalker you ever put on the battlefield, so...
I just never assume I'll get to their ultimate either.
Yeah,
so
you don't often, but...
What I see her doing is go to 3, destroy something.
Absolutely.
And then make a pirate. And then probably destroy something else, and then make a pirate. You know, like...
She's renewable removal,
yeah.
And that's pretty sweet.
I think she's pretty good. I don't think she's as good as, say, Elsbeth, but...
I don't think we're getting Elsbeth anymore.
No.
I mean, we've already discussed on the podcast how we think that...
they're nerfing planeswalkers
that
a little bit.
They're just
They're
downsizing
making them a little more
more
reasonable.
Yeah, and for a reasonable planeswalker, I still think she's a huge threat. If this comes down, if your opponent drops this, you know one of your creatures is going bye-bye.
Yep.
Or they're getting an extra blocker. I mean, I wouldn't want to face her.
Yeah, the truth is, she does something if you're ahead in making another threat. She does something if you're behind in blowing up the thing that is doing the most damage to you. So, for 6 mana, she does what you need her to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I would first pick, I would play. She's not in a color combination that matters in this set, but she's, I think, splashable.
Absolutely.
In any number of things. So, yeah. And splashable in the 2 major ways of splashing, either with green, green fixing or with the treasure fixing.
Yeah, and let's face it, she's Vraska, and she's a pirate.
All right. So that's a little peek into the color combinations. Now we're going to go on to the bulk of the set, and we are starting with white. Our first white creature is a 2-drop, 1 and a white for a 1/1 vampire soldier at uncommon. Tato Vanguard. As long as Tato Vanguard is attacking, it gets +2/+0. You can pay 4 life. Tato Vanguard gains indestructible until end of turn. So what do we think of Tato Vanguard?
It's really interesting, and taken out of the context of this set, a 1/1 for 2 is just plain unplayable.
Sure, but it attacks as a 3/1.
Exactly.
Which is a creature power and toughness combination I like quite a bit.
You see 3/1s for 2 all the time, so that's fine. And then
I like them a lot.
The pay for life, as you're going to find out, I've got the metrics, we'll look at them later, for how much incidental life gain or lifelink life gain there is a ton of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it seems to be the vampire thing. Like, we saw that with the rare pay 7 life to kill something.
Yeah, I think the only thing, maybe blue, I don't think blue has any life gain, red may not, but even green has a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
well, it's primarily in black and white and then secondary in green, right?
So paying for life in this deck is not a big deal, and to get indestructible, it's pretty good.
I'm assuming if you're swinging with it, you're going to at least trade with something, and then paying for life to not have your creature die, but to kill one of theirs, or to take out one of their combat tricks, which is about to kill your thing. That seems good.
It fits really nicely in the Boros kind of aggro strategy, I think.
I think this may be a first pick for me.
Yeah, I think so.
I like this quite a bit.
Salem says, me too.
Bellowing Aegisar is next. It is a 3/5 for 5 and a white dinosaur at uncommon. It's got Enrage. Whenever Bellowing Regisar is dealt damage, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control.
Wow,
very white.
That really makes those red pingers seem better, as long as they declare target creature, not target creature and opponent controls. Right? That's gross.
We'll see what happens when we get to red, but yeah.
This also fits really well with your, hey, let's dream a little dream, or maybe let's build a little deck. That green-white assault formation, but big butts matter creature.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make this a 5/5, it's definitely better than it being a 3/5. 3/5 for 6 is not good, but I think the Enrage, like, I remember, what was it? Phalanx Leader from Theros? When it triggered Heroic, you put a +1 counter on everything, including itself. But this one does not include itself. However...
its bum is huge, so whatever.
Yeah, I don't think this is a first pick for me, but it's probably high.
Yeah, I think it has value, for sure.
Bishop's Soldier. How very Spanish.
Oh, look at him.
A 1 and a white for a 2/2. Vampire Soldier with lifelink. So, it's a lifelink bear.
I'm taking every single one of these I see. Everyone.
Yeah?
All of the vampires belong to me.
I mean, if you're looking at ways of early racking up some extra life to pay for abilities, this is not a bad way to do it.
A bear lifelinker that's a vampire?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So, pick up... where? Mid-pack? Early?
Early, not... I mean, in a cruddy pack,
yeah.
I will first pick it. But, yeah, definitely fairly...
Pick it up early, you say?
Yeah.
Alright. I'll probably pick it up mid.
Fair enough.
Duskborn Sky Marcher.
Oh.
White for a 1/1 Vampire Cleric at uncommon. With flying. So a 1/1 flyer for 1. Yeah. Pay a white and tap it. Target attacking vampire gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Ooh. So we've seen creatures like this before, and they are often surprisingly good. To be able to just put +1 wherever you want makes combat math nightmarish for your opponent. Now you're paying mana for it. It's not just a tap ability, but and you can only do it once because it is a tap ability.
And it has to be a vampire. But again, that is not going to be a big deal.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you're heavy vampires to make this work, but I would pick this up fairly early if you think you're heading in that direction.
For sure.
Because the combat math on something like this can be difficult for your opponent. Emissary of Sunrise. 2 and a white for a human cleric at uncommon. It's a 2/2 with first strike. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. So what's explore mean?
It's a 2/1 with first strike.
Is that not what I said?
You said a 2/2.
Oh. 2/1 with first strike. So explore means you reveal the top card of your library. Put it into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then put the card back, or put it into your graveyard. So you basically get a scry when this enters. Mm-hmm. If it's a land, you get to draw it, and if it's not a land, you get to decide whether you want to draw it next turn or not, and either way, this thing becomes a 3/2. So half the time it's going to be a 3/2 first strike for 3.
Which is fine.
Yeah?
I like this. I like the built-in scry.
Mm-hmm. I think, I think this is interesting. We're going to have to see how good the explore mechanic is, but not drawing a land off the top of your deck could be just good enough.
Yeah.
Like not having to draw that land. So I think it's still probably a mid-pack pickup. Like, it does kill 2/2s and not die to them.
Yep, I'm gonna pick if I'm in white. I'm gonna pick this up early-ish because it is an uncommon.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah.
All right, we have a common. Encampment Keeper is a 1/1 hound for white with first strike. So 1/1 first strike. I don't think it's good enough. However,
early game aggro.
You can pay 7 in a wipe and tap it and sacrifice it to give creatures you control +2/+2 until end of turn. So it's a 1/1 first striker that's not just dead if you draw it late.
Yeah.
I still don't really like it. I think 8 mana is too much.
I'd rather pay 4, 4 or 5, which is what you normally pay for that effect.
To give all your creatures +2/+2?
There's a bunch of stuff in white, not in this set necessarily, but we've seen stuff.
It's usually a green effect. It's
also in white, it's also in red. Trumpet Blast.
That's +2/+0.
Oh, fair enough. It is 2/2.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I still think it's a bit much.
Yeah, I don't think this is something I'm going to be interested in. I'll pick one up late, and I'd probably run it, but I'm not...
On the just in cases?
Yeah, I'm not really... I don't think. Glorifier of Dusk. 3 white for a vampire soldier at uncommon. It's 4/4. 4/4 for 5. That's just fine. But you can pay 2 life to give it flying until end of turn.
Sweet.
And you can pay 2 life to give it vigilance until end of turn. So pay 4 life, it's a flying vigilant 4/4 for 5.
Seems good to me.
I don't know. I think there are going to be better things, but I can see this being really good, and I can see it being the kind of thing that floats around because nobody actually wants it.
Well, have a look at the card again after you've taken account on how much life gain there is.
Okay.
Because there's a fair amount that I think this could be quite good. Or 2 life here and there just to give it, even just the flying, to make it a 4/4 flyer.
Okay. Where would you pick it up?
Mid-pack.
Mid-pack?
Yeah.
All right. Imperial Dinosaur. 3 and a white for an uncommon dinosaur. It's a 3/3 with flying. So a 3/3 flyer for 4.
Count me in.
Yeah, that seems good. When it enters the battlefield, another target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn.
Oh, sweet.
Sold. Yeah. A 3/3 flyer for 4 is fine, and then just randomly having that upside, yeah.
This is an early pick for me.
Yeah. I'm in. This is a 4-drop that I want. Imperial Lancer. Here's another 1/1 for 1. Human Knight at uncommon. Imperial Lancer has double strike as long as you control a dinosaur. So dinosaurs are in white, in green, and in red, so this probably goes into that white-red deck that you are looking at. Yeah, I like this. If you can guarantee... I don't know, how many dinosaurs do you need before this becomes good?
I don't know. A handful?
A handful? I would say I want 7 or 8 in my deck.
Okay.
So I want this in a heavy dinosaur deck. I don't think I'm going to pick it early. I'm going to pick it when I have 4 or 5 dinosaurs.
Fair enough.
Inspiring Cleric. Oh, look at that art. 2 and a white for a 3/2 Vampire Cleric at uncommon. When Inspiring Cleric enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life.
And you can pay the 4 life that you just gained to give your dude flying and vigilance.
All right. Yeah, yeah. And you don't see, the problem I had with that is that you have to do either of those things before combat. They're not a gotcha thing, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. But I don't care if my flying is gotcha. I don't generally care if my vigilance is gotcha either.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It's not like a give your creatures +2/+0 or something. It's a thing that... It's more like a Gust Walker.
Which was amazing.
Alright, we're talking about this card now. Inspiring Cleric. So, how do you feel about a 3/2 for 3?
Fine.
Fine.
It's fine.
Just fine. It's just fine.
But it's a cleric. It's a vampire. Sorry.
It is. Have we seen anything that cares about vampires yet?
Oh, yeah?
What?
We've seen the vampire Lord Dude.
Who's a vampire lord?
There was a dude in, was it not? Black White? That did a thing. There was another thing we just saw that...
give a vampire...
+1/+1, +1/+1, or +2/+2, or something as well. We've seen a bunch of stuff, and we're going to see a lot more.
Okay.
It's one of the big tribals.
I like 4 life. It's a lot. And a 3/2 for 3 is sort of around mediocre. Like, it's fine. So, this is probably a thing I'll pick up middle of the pack still. I'm not picking this early.
No, I don't think so either. I think it can be a filler.
Okay. Here's another 1-drop. Kingjollies Caller is an 0/3 for white. Human Cleric at common. Dinosaur spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That could be useful.
Yeah, I would say so.
So this will only deal with colorless costs. It's not going to make your red-white flyer any cheaper, but it will make your, what was that, 6-drop 3/5 into a 5-drop 3/5. So, and 5-drop is about where I want it. You know? So, again, I'd have to be in Dinosaurs before I want this, because on its own, an 0/3 for 1, no.
Meh, yeah.
So, I'll pick this up late, but happily, if I know I'm in Dinos.
Yep, absolutely.
Legion Conquistador. 2 and a white for a vampire soldier at common. It's a 2/2. A 2/2 for 3. What's he do? When Legion Conquistador enters the battlefield, you may search your library for any number of cards named Legion Conquistador. Reveal them and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library. So, the first one's kind of bad. And the last one's kind of bad. But the second one is significantly better, I guess.
Sure.
So, if you pick up 1, you're gonna want to pick up, like, 3, right?
Sure, yeah.
Because just a 2/2 for 3 is not great. So, I don't think I'm going after this at all, but if I end up, late in pack 1 picking 1, then I'm gonna pick up the second one and the third one.
Do you think they're looking at this for some sort of deck? Because
I think it's meant primarily for limited when you can, not feasibly, but in your wildest dreams, get 6 of them,
Sure, but all you're doing is dragging them out of your deck and putting them into your hand.
Yeah.
So you can cast another 2/2 for 3.
And then draw another one. So it's a 2/2 that draws you a card. If you've got another one.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna pass on this and let
Okay.
it's gonna be a 23rd card if I need one, but I don't want to play 2/2s for 3 if I can avoid it.
And for me, it's going to be, if I pick one up, I'm going to pick up as many as I can find. And if I don't pick one up, then I'm not going to be sad.
Mm-hmm.
Looming Altasaur. Altasaur? Is it?
Altiasaur?
Is it in the Altasphere?
Oh.
It's 3 and a white for a 1/7. It's a dinosaur at common, and you can bet your tuchus that if I pick up the big butt dinosaur, then I'm going to snap up every single one of these I can find.
Yep. And you can bet your butt that at some point I'm going to be an annoying pain in the ass and pick up all of them and then grab all of the flyers or something of that sort and just gum up the ground and tick everybody off because I'm a jerk.
So a 1 whatever for 4 isn't where you usually want to be.
No.
But 7 is a lot. Like, I don't know if they've ever printed a 1/7 before.
I don't know, but how are they getting rid of that? You're going to need the premium removal to get rid of that sucker.
Kill thing or exile thing.
Yeah.
Damage isn't going to get it done.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would probably pick up 1 in
Later packs.
But my dream is to open the big butt dino and then pick up every single one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paladin of the Bloodstained. 3 and a white for a 3/2. So a 3/2 for 4 Vampire Knight at common.
Sure.
When Paladin of the Bloodstained enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink.
Sold.
Alright, so a 4/3 for 4.
I like a Bring a Friend card.
Yeah.
Especially with lifelink.
Bring a Friend cards tend to be pretty good. This one, I don't know. I think there are better 4-drops, but that's the problem with 4-drops. Like, I don't want many of them.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it seems fine.
I'll probably run one if I see it.
Yeah, but I'm not excited about it. Pterodon Knight. 3 and a white for a 3/3 human knight at common. So a 3/3 for 4 I think is better than a 3/2, even if it brings a friend.
Yeah.
And this one has flying as long as you control a dinosaur.
Boy, howdy.
So I like this human dinosaur cooperative kind
Me
of
too.
thing that's
it's
going
very
on.
flavorful, and I think that's pretty sweet.
So, yeah, where do you pick it up? Again, when you have so many dinos, or
Just mid-pack. I mean, a 3/3 for 4 is fine in a 4-drop slot if I don't see anything else that's fantastic. Salem really has a lot to say about these dinosaurs. Boy, what's up, buddy? I know.
well, maybe we'll have to settle them down between colors.
Yeah.
We're moving on for now. Queen's Commission. 2 and a white for a sorcery. Create 2 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink.
Sure.
So you don't like a 2/2 for 3. How do you feel about 2 1/1s for 3?
With lifelink?
Yeah.
Yep, it's fine.
Yeah. So this is your typical token creator, and it's just fine. It's not instant speed, so there's no gotcha about it. But
No.
But yeah, I would happily play 1.
Sure.
Raptor's
Oh,
Companion.
he's so cute.
Here's that 3/1 for 1 and a white you were talking about.
Yep.
But this one's a dinosaur.
He's so cute.
So he's a pet raptor.
Yeah, I'll probably run one run or two. Wow.
Run 1 or 2.
One run or two? Yeah, you know what I mean.
This is one of the dinosaurs I want in that dinosaur human deck.
Yeah.
Because it's the problem with a lot of the dinosaurs is they're huge, right?
Yeah, they're expensive.
And they're expensive. This one you can play on turn 2, and then all of your Dinosaur Matters cards are turned on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is great. Shining Aerosaur is 4 and a white for a 3/4 flyer. He's a common dinosaur. It's just a 3/4 flyer for
I'll
5.
probably put one in the 5-drop slot if I don't have anything. I like flyers, and a 3/4 for 5 is fine.
Yeah, this is your mediocre 5-drop that's still pretty good.
Yep.
3/3 for 5 is meh. 3/4 for 5 is a little better.
It's got wings, so that makes it a little bit better.
No, well, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Flyer.
Yeah.
Skyblade of the Legion. 1 and a white for a vampire soldier at common. And it's got flying.
Cool. Yeah. I want to see what the other stuff is in this set.
The other options?
Well, no, not at all. What vampire synergies? What do you have that's going to make your vampires? Because there's going to be something.
Yeah.
If we haven't already seen it, that incentivizes.
Well, we saw the thing that gives a vampire +1/+1.
Sure, and that's fine, but I'm sure there's going to be something that puts counters on vampires or some other sort of vampire synergy that incentivizes you to run vampires, like there was zombies.
Sure, but I'm still going to try to pick up the better vampires, and I don't think this is one of them.
I like flyers, and if I can make this a 2/4 for 2...
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that
so you want to try to put a counter on it.
Or something. And I don't know. I haven't...
Or an aura, maybe. Buff it up. All
right.
I
haven't paid enough attention yet to know. Right now, a 1/1 for... Or a 1/3 for 2. If I have nothing else, I'll play it. You saw it in the blue-black flyer in the last set. Like, you ran one last night in your...
Yeah, but I wasn't happy about it.
No, that's what I mean. It's fine. It's bleh. But if there's stuff to make it better, it's something I want to keep an eye on.
I guess we see. I see these probably going 14th or 15th. Like, I see
Fair enough, yeah.
them going very late.
Sure.
Steadfast Armasaur. They're really going for the variosaurs.
Yeah.
3 and a white. Another 4-drop for an uncommon dinosaur. It's a 2/3 with vigilance. So we saw a 2/3 vigilance in the last set that had Embalm, was it? Mm-hmm. And nobody played it.
Yeah.
So what's this one do? For 1 and a white and tap it, it deals damage equal to its toughness to target creature blocking or blocked by it. So that's interesting. I'll tell you why that's interesting. That damage happens before combat damage.
So you can outright kill them.
You can outright kill something with 3 toughness.
So anything they have with 3 toughness is probably not going to bother blocking.
Right.
So you're getting in for 2, and it has vigilance. So suddenly this becomes a really decent creature.
Yeah. I think having one of these is reason enough for me to want to make my dinos cheaper, like with that human.
Sure.
And then get more dinos. Mm. I kind of like this.
I do too. Again, it's one of those things that kind of messes with combat and your ability to deal with it. So it's kind of interesting. Because
being able to kill something with 3 toughness is a lot, and it's only 2 mana. So and it's not like you're using a card on that effect. So yeah, I think I'm going to lean toward picking this up early. Yeah. Sunrise Seeker is 4 and a white for a 3/3 human scout at common with vigilance. So a 3/3 vigilant for 5. Whatever. But when it enters the battlefield, it explores. So that's, again, if there's a land on top of your deck, you draw it. If there's anything else on top, you get to decide whether you want to put it back on top or in your graveyard, and this gets a +1 counter. So half the time, it'll be a 4/4 vigilant for 5.
Which is better.
I like better.
And fitting your deck, I mean, that's not nothing, I suppose.
Yep.
And it is vigilant, so...
So I think I like this. This is a 5-drop I'd probably run one of.
Yeah, but no more than one.
Yeah. Territorial Hammerskull.
Oh, boy.
So is that the little one or the big one?
I think it's the little one. From the eyes up, it's solid bone and stubbornness.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So 2 and a white for a 2/3 dinosaur at common. Whenever Territorial Hammerskull attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. So yeah, there it is, just knocking
I like
thing
this
out of
guy.
the way.
I like this guy a lot.
It's a tapper that you don't have to tap for. It's an attacky tapper.
And he's a 2/3.
I like that.
Yeah, right? And he's a dinosaur. I want some of these in my dino deck.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. That seems pretty good to me. I'll pick that up early, I think. I'd want 1 or 2 of them in my deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bishop of Rebirth. Here's our first rare.
Beautiful
3
art.
white for a vampire cleric at rare. It's a 3/4 with vigilance for 5. So we weren't sure if we liked a 3/3 with vigilance, but we liked a 4/4 with vigilance. How do we feel about a 3/4 with vigilance?
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Whenever Bishop of Rebirth attacks, you may return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
We like it a lot.
We like it better now. It has 4 toughness.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to block it with something real. It attacks, you get a creature back, so it doesn't even need to connect. So at the very least, you're going to attack once, probably trade with something, maybe, and get a card out of it. So I like this. It's not a bomb, but it
can be very problematic.
Yeah, it's very much worth running.
I think this is really good at the top end of your aggressive deck, because then all of your things that you have blocked with, your littler things, you're suddenly going to be able to pull back.
Yeah.
Get back. So.
If you're trading off, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
So where do you pick it?
If there's nothing else, I would first pick it.
Sure, but you say that a lot.
Well, because rares are rares, right?
Is it a good first pick?
I think it's a good first pick.
All right, I think it's a solid playable. I don't think it's a bomb. I think I'd probably pick it up first because it's not going to wheel.
I haven't seen any uncommons that I would first pick over this. Let's just put it that way so far. There's nothing that I've gone, ooh, I must have that.
Okay.
Wait a minute. No, that was a rare, right? The white-red flyer?
Nope, that's an uncommon.
Okay, I would pick that first, and if this wheeled, I'd take it.
Okay.
Let's have priorities here, people.
Fair enough. Next, we have Goring Ceratops, or Gorgeous Ceratops, if you prefer. 5 white for a 3/3 at rare. How do you feel about a 3/3 for 7?
Not great.
How do you feel about a 6/3 for 7 because it's got double strike?
Not bad.
When it attacks, other creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn.
I'm suddenly feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to block this and they're going to probably kill it, but all of your other things having double strike...
Yowza.
You only have to attack with this once. Now, if you don't have any other creatures, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the same with a lot of these tribal things. So I think this is a first pick build around. Sure makes all your littler creatures better.
Oh boy, yeah.
Alright. Kingjollies Sunwing. 2 and a white for a 2/3 flyer at rare. It's another dinosaur.
I like it.
Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped.
Oh, I pity the first person who plays this against me. They are going to get wine fest. But no, I don't want. That's no fair. I hate this effect. Oh god, but I like to play it because it's mean.
Of course you do. This is a great aggressive card.
Yeah.
This is a great control card.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a great card.
Yeah, a 2/3 for...
A 2/3 flyer for 3?
It's fine.
Sold.
I will play that all day, but the extra little bit of meanness is quite sweet.
Alright, here we have a legendary enchantment in our creature review.
What?
Legion's Landing is white for a legendary enchantment at rare. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink.
So 1/1 for 1 with lifelink
Yep.
in a relevant
subtype.
creature. Okay.
So it's a half of a Sacred Cat, but as we found out, Sacred Cat was pretty good.
So what's the other half of this?
What's the other half of this? Well, when you attack with 3 or more creatures, transform Legion's Landing. And 3 or more creatures I don't think is too much to ask for in a...
No, and
in a
it's an
white deck.
enchantment, so you've got time to wait.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you attack with 3.
Yeah, it's not like... You get the 1/1, but this doesn't go away if your 1/1 dies. So
yeah.
I like that. So when you transform it, it becomes Adanto, the First Fort, which is a legendary land. And it adds white to your mana pool, or you can pay 2 and a white and tap it to create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. So this can just pump out 1/1s. It costs a bunch, like it's 3 mana every time you do it, but
it's a mana sink.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
It's a mana sink. You can do it anytime, so like end of your opponent's turn, in the middle of combat, whatever, and it's a land. It taps for white, so you can ramp into your high-end stuff with this.
And here's why I like it. As an aggro player who often finds myself facing, Laura across the table in her blue deck, who's constantly drawing cards. I sit there with all of this mana now that I've dropped, all of my, 1/1s and 2/3s and, all of my low drop creatures. I have no card draw. Mm-hmm. I have nothing to do with my mana. Suddenly, I have stuff to do with my mana, and I kind of like that.
So how good do you think it is?
I think it's fine. I think I want one in my deck.
So you'd first pick it?
Probably. I don't think I'd first pick it over an uncommon balmy creature.
Sure.
I want my red-white flyer before I want this.
That's going to be
my baseline.
Your baseline for the set.
But you know what I mean. But for the most part, I mean, and I'm going to want these anyway. Another little side thing, because as I said, I was going to be mentioning this a lot. This is new art for lands. And I've heard people saying that it doesn't look like a land, so I don't like it. I think it's fantastic because it's land specific for this set, and it's in flavor with this set. It looks kind of like a map-ish kind of.
Well, that's kind of what it is. These were originally going to be the frames for the masterpieces for this set before they decide to give the masterpieces a break.
Yeah.
I agree that it's weird. It doesn't really look like a land, but they're not just lands. They're transformed from something else and they become a land. So I think that's sort of good enough for me.
And as a designer myself, I appreciate...
They're very pretty.
The little touches like around the sides. Looks like little bits of a map.
I just think it doesn't look like a Magic card. Like, it looks like a card from... Forbidden Island or something like.
Sure. But we see that a lot. You see that a lot in older Magic cards too. You're like, wow, this doesn't look like Magic at all. So it's happened.
The frame still looks like Magic. I'm not saying it's bad. I actually quite like it. I like that they're on the transform side.
Oh yeah. For sure. I think they would have been really nice as invocations or whatever.
Masterpieces.
Yeah. I think they would have been nice.
What do you think? You're first picking this or not?
I already said.
Okay.
Unless there is a creature,
so you take an aggressive creature over it.
An aggressive balmy creature.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would take any solid creature, I think, over this. But I think this is actually better in a control deck than an aggro deck.
Interesting.
I don't know, though.
Guess we're going to see.
Yeah. Maverin Thane, Dark Apostle. We have Dracula-looking dude. 2 and a white for a legendary creature, Vampire Cleric. It's a 2/2 for 3, another 2/2 for 3 at rare. Whenever one or more non-token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. So you can't just rack up your tokens and get more tokens.
Here's a reason to play that 1/3 flyer.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't... I mean, it's evasionary?
I actually don't think this is all that good.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be a 2 for 3. I don't think you're guaranteed enough vampires to get value off of it. So as a 2/2 for 3, I'm looking for something better.
How many vampires are in this set in total?
In total? I don't know. The commons and uncommons, there are 15.
Okay.
So I think I want to be heavy vampires before picking this up.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to first pick them.
I think I'm going to first pick them and build around them.
Okay. Priest of the Waking Sun. Another 1/1 for 1.
There are a lot of them you're going to see.
It's a white human cleric at rare. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal a dinosaur card from your hand. If you do, gain 2 life. This is weird. It's the vampires that want the life gain. But you have to play, or you have to have a dinosaur in your hand to get the life gain.
Weird.
This is weird. For 3 white, you can sacrifice Priest of the Waking Sun and search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library.
Huh.
So what do we think of this?
It's a lot to unpack. So it's so taking away the life gain, it's a 5 mana tutor for a specific creature type. And that leaves you with a 1/1 for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I like it that much.
I don't like it. I might see it in Constructed.
Sure.
But I don't think I like it.
No.
So I'm going to give a pass on this one.
Me too.
Tocatli? Is this a place now? Tocatli Honor Guard. 1 and a white for a 1/3. Human soldier at rare. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger.
Ooh.
So we've seen this effect before. I think Hushwing Griff was something like that, but it was a flyer. I don't see any reason to run this in my main deck.
No, this seems like sideboard for Constructed.
Yeah, I don't really like 1/3s for 2. If I don't like a 1/3 flyer for 2, I'm certainly not going to take a 1/3 ground crawler for 2. So this is a constructed card. I don't think it's really relevant in limited. Waking Sun's Avatar. I believe this is our last one.
This is another one of the avatars.
Yes. 5 white.
Yeek.
For a dinosaur avatar at Mythic. It's a 7/7 for 8. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, destroy all non-dinosaur creatures.
Wow.
So this is your top end in a control deck.
Yeah.
This is, unless they're playing dinosaurs too, in which case you're kind of screwed.
Yup.
I don't know. I mean, you can play it in a heavy dinosaur deck and then...
Hope you get to triple white and 5? Yeah.
Triple white might not be that difficult, but...
No, not if you're in 2 colors, especially if white is your primary, but... Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure I would first pick it because it's powerful and it's a mythic. And I would try it out.
Based on what we've seen so far, I don't think it's like the bombiest of bombs. There are some big things, even in white, which is known for its small creatures.
Yeah.
But it is a 7/7.
Yeah. I almost think that this is something that will do even better in Constructed when you're not going to have as many... Like, people are going to have dedicated dinosaur decks, but you're not going to see random spatterings of dinosaurs here and there. Like, you're going to Unlimited, so when you destroy all you know what I'm trying to say.
If you destroy all non-dinosaurs, they may still have something left.
Yes.
Although it might be smaller than a 7/7.
Sure, sure.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. I think you can first pick this and then have this pseudo-bomb. I just don't think it's...
I'm not super, super excited to get a chance to play it.
Yeah, it's not a game-winning 8-mana play, so that leaves me a little skeptical.
Yeah, it's okay.
Anyway, I believe that's it for white. What do we think of white?
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm liking it so far.
There were, 4 flyers, something like that?
Yeah. Lots of life gain.
We saw that vampires could be interesting. There wasn't a lot that played off vampires. Mm-hmm. There was a lot that played off dinosaurs.
Yup.
So, we'll see as we keep going. We're going on to blue now.
And we're back with blue. So our first card is Air Elemental. It's a 3 and a blue and 2 blue, 4/4 with flying. Air Elemental at uncommon. It's been a while since I've done this.
Okay.
Give me a break.
So its creature type is elemental. This is an old favorite. Like this is they may have been in alpha. I don't know. But a 4/4 for 5 flyer is perfectly good. Like
I will play them all day.
you might first pick this in a pack that doesn't have a bomb and be happy. I also like the flavor text. It's like an excerpt from their journeys. It's not a story card, but I would kind of love in future if they made like old reprints into the story spotlights.
That'd be neat.
It could be interesting. Anyway, what do you think?
Oh, I love this card.
Yeah, it's great. Pick one up wherever. First, last, wherever.
Deadeye Quartermaster, 3 and a blue for a 2/2 creature human pirate at uncommon. When Deadeye Quartermaster enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment or vehicle card, reveal it, then put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library.
Okay, so a 2/2 for 4 is not great on its own. We'll have to see how good the equipment and vehicles are. And I would wait to have, 2 good options before picking this up?
I think so.
Otherwise, I'm not
Not a
terribly
2/2
impressed.
for 4.
Although
no.
the art is fantastic.
Absolutely. Headwater Sentries is 3 and a blue for a 2/5 Merfolk Warrior at common. And it's just vanilla 2/5.
So, what was the 2/5 for 4 in
Dutiful
Hour
Servants?
of Devastation? There's a
No,
1/4 for 3, and then there was or were they 1/5s? Maybe they were 1/5s. Never mind. What do we think of a 2/5 for 4? Eh.
If I need something wall-like that can attack, sure.
We'll see what happens with the Merfolk tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prosperous Pirates, 4 and a blue for a 3/4 human pirate at common. When Prosperous Pirates enter the battlefield, create 2 colorless treasure artifact tokens with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
Okay. So you get 2 mana to ramp with at 5 in a blue deck.
I wouldn't call it ramp, I'd call it splash.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Maybe.
A 3/4 for 5 is meh.
If
okay.
there's artifacts matter.
We've already seen one.
Well, no, she goes and gets an artifact from your deck.
No. There was something else that said if you control an artifact. Remember? And I said, we'll have to see how good. You and I were looking at them.
Oh. Has it come up yet?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was in white, I believe. But anyways, regardless, it is an artifact, and there might be something that cares about it. But regardless, It's still 2 mana, a 3/4 for 5.
2 of the treasures, but a 3/4 for 5 is, I don't know, I don't really care. I'm gonna pick this up late, probably.
Yep. River Sneak, 1 and a blue for a 1/1 at uncommon. River Sneak can't be blocked. Whenever another merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, River Sneak gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Aside from the art, I really don't like this card.
Really?
If a 1/1 for 1 unblockable is meh, then a 1/1 for 2 unblockable is super meh.
You don't think that this would be decent in a creature-heavy merfolk deck?
If you're heavy on merfolk, I will pick these up late and run them. But
Fair enough. All right. Sailor of Means, 2 and a blue for a 1/4 human pirate at common. When Sailor of Means enters the battlefield, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
All right, I think we can short form that to treasure from this point on. Probably. Yeah. So a 1/4 for 3 that makes a treasure.
Sure.
Eh?
Yeah.
I want to know what that is he's paying off. Is that an orc?
That's a big dude.
He's a big dude. I don't care. He's not anything I'm interested in. What do you think?
Well, I'm starting to think that there is some sort of controlling multicolor deck thing that they're thinking about here, because that's 2 things now we've seen with 4 but that creates these treasures.
Possibly.
So let's see how we go as we move forward.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm building a standard mechanized production deck. But, yeah, we'll see.
Shaper Apprentice. 1 and a blue for a 2/1 Merfolk Wizard at common. Shaper Apprentice has flying as long as you control another Merfolk.
Alright, this is a reason I think to pick up Merfolk, because a 2/1 flyer for 2 is good. A 2/1 for 2 on its own is just sort of okay, but with flying I think it's good. So if you can drop a Merfolk on 3 and have a 2/1 flyer, I like this quite a bit.
Or you get 2 of these.
Yep.
On 3.
Yep. So I'm gonna probably pick these up.
Shipwreck Looter. 1 and a blue for a 2/1 at common human pirate with raid. When it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card.
So this is sort of the common version of that blue-red uncommon. You only get to do it once, only when she drops. But I still think it's super flavorful.
Yeah, definitely.
How good do you think it is?
How good is a 2/1 in blue? I don't know.
Yeah. That's not a merfolk. It is a pirate.
Yeah,
so...
I don't know.
Eh.
Shorekeeper. Oh, what an interesting piece of art. It's a trilobite. Interesting. A single blue for an 0/3 at common. It's not, we're not done. You may change your mind. 7 and a blue, tap and sack it, draw 3 cards.
Okay. Still
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
8 mana?
Again, I'm wondering if there's some really dirtily big bum blue deck thing that they're trying to...
Maybe, but
late
3
game
toughness is not...
It's not great, no. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like to draw 3 cards, but draw 3 cards for 8?
I like that we've got a trilobite in Magic.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a dinosaur-ish thing, right? It's from like...
Yeah.
I've got a trilobite fossil. So.
Yeah. Blue is not my strongest suit, so...
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how good the card draw is in other...
yeah, I mean, if this is what you're getting for card draw, then I guess you just play it, right?
We'll see.
Siren Lookout. 2 and a blue for a 1/2 flyer at common. But when it enters the battlefield, it explores. So
all right.
It could be a 2/3 for 3.
Yeah, and I think a 2/3 for 3 is good with flying. I think a 1/2 is not great, but you're getting a land off the top of your deck, so I would play this, absolutely.
Yep, me too. Siren Storm Tamer. Single blue for a 1/1 Siren Pirate Wizard at uncommon. It has flying. So a 1/1 flyer. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not normally playing 1/1 flyers. Sometimes, but rarely. But it does something else. For a single blue, you can sacrifice it. You don't even have to tap it. Sacrifice it, counter target spell or ability that targets you or a creature you control.
So this reminds me of Judge's Familiar from, I'm going to say, Return to Ravnica.
Yeah, it's fairly old.
But it saw standard play. It got to counter anything for sacrificing, or it was a spell pierce, I think. So
it was.
Counter
unless they pay
unless
one.
they pay the 1.
Yeah.
Whereas this is counter only, basically discard and removal, I guess.
Yep. But I rather like it.
Okay.
Because it sits there on the battlefield, plinking in for 1, assuming that you don't have something else to make it bigger, given that it's a pirate.
Sure. Siren Pirate Wizard.
So it sits there amongst all of your other creatures, and so they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to cast this spell on that 6/6 that you have sitting there, and you're like, you know what, I think I'm going to pay this 1 mana and counter that. You're not getting my creature.
So it's acting like a spell skite in that.
It's sitting there. It is a threat. It's an onboard threat that's going to plunk in for 1 if they don't have a flyer.
One, yeah.
But regardless, it's going to stop them from getting one of your creatures with removal.
All right, where do you pick it?
If I'm in blue,
yeah.
I'm not first picking it, that is for sure, but I'm going to fairly highly pick it
yeah.
in the same way I'm going to pick up a counter spell.
Okay, so it takes the same space as a counter spell.
Yeah, with a tiny bit of an interesting...
I think, okay, I would pick an Essence Scatter over it.
That's fair.
Like a creature counter spell.
That's
over
fair.
this.
I like this because it sits on the battlefield
and does damage.
And nanas at them.
Yeah,
makes them second guess.
Okay.
Stormfleet Aerialist. 1 and a blue for a 1/2 flyer with raid. When it enters the battlefield. Oh, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter if you attacked with a creature this turn.
So this is a reason for me to pick up that 1/1 flyer. Because I love this card. I think it's great. A 2/3 flyer for 2?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So
yep.
I want to absolutely have something to attack with before I drop this.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
I would probably first pick this.
Yeah, I'm going to find myself in blue more times than I have, you
yeah.
know, because I really love flyers. And, yeah, it's interesting.
All right.
Stormfleet Spy. I think this is gorgeous. This is the first time I've really looked at the art. Wow. People are so talented. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 human pirate at uncommon. With raid, when it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, draw a card. A
okay.
2/2 for 3 that draws you a card.
If you attacked with a creature this turn. So, I like the flavor there. She stabbed a vampire in the back and stole his map.
That's cute.
Yeah. A 2/2 for 3 that draws you a card if you attacked.
It's a color to be in.
Yeah.
If you've got some flyers.
Evasion or whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Where would you pick it up?
Mid-pack.
Mid to late, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that excited.
I think, worse than the green one that exerts in Hour of Devastation, but still playable.
Storm Sculptor, 3 and a blue for a 3/2 Merfolk Wizard at common. Storm Sculptor can't be blocked. Ooh. When Storm Sculptor enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to its owner's hand.
Huh.
So it's unblockable. A 3/2 unblockable for 4. That bounces a thing that may have an ETB.
May have an ETB, may have a piece of removal on it.
Or it's just a stupid little 1/1 that you don't care if it bounces and goes back down.
Yeah. I'm going to pick this up mid to late pack, though, if I already know I want something like this. Like, sure, it's 3 power unblockable, but I want to get value out of the bounce a creature. Because you can't just play it by itself. It will bounce itself. This one does target itself.
Yeah.
So you have to know that you can bounce something else.
Yep. Mid-pack.
Yep.
Tempest Caller. 2 blue for a 2/3 Merfolk Wizard at uncommon. When Tempest Caller enters the battlefield, tap all creatures target opponent controls. Yeek.
So the art here, she looks like the blue Chandra.
Yeah, and the flavor text is
like,
I am the storm, which I really, really like.
She looks like the fire caller. She's the Tempest Caller.
Yeah,
so,
I am a big fan of tap effects because I like to be aggressive.
All creatures target opponent controls.
Yeah, that's mean.
Yeah, it seems real good.
So this is a pre-combat. By the way, before combat, I'm going to play this. Tap all of your creatures and swing with everything and kill you.
Yeah. If you're not going to kill them, well, at least you'll have a 2/3 blocker.
Sure. I mean, you may have vigilance. Who knows?
It seems fine. You'd need the deck for it. Like, you need to have an aggressive deck. for this. Yeah.
Water Trap Weaver, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 Merfolk Wizard at common. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step.
All right, I like this one better, I think.
Yeah, this is a 2/2 for 3 that I think is pretty decent.
Yeah, this
We've seen
is
it before
very
on other...
much like Frostlinks, I think it was. Yeah. This effect is always good. Just tap a thing and it doesn't untap, so you don't even have to worry about the crackback that turn. Yeah. I'd pick that highly.
Wind Strider, 4 and a blue for a 3/3 flash flying at common. Merfolk Wizard, too.
Yeah, so we had the Air Elemental, which is a 4/4 flyer for 5, which is, I think, above rate. 3/3 flyer for 5 is, like, mediocre rate, but still playable. With Flash, you can flash this in end of turn, and then,
Or flash it into block.
Yeah. I like this
me too.
a lot. So I'd probably pick it reasonably
fairly high.
Early mid-pack.
Yeah, for sure. So here's our first rare. Daring Saboteur is 1 and a blue for a 2/1.
Is this a reprint?
Human Pirate, it looks like it. 2 and a blue. Daring Saboteur can't be blocked this turn. Whenever Daring Saboteur deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card.
So you get a loot when it hits, but you can make it unblockable.
Yep.
And otherwise it's a 2/1 for 2, which is fine.
Yep. So it's again one of those, I need something to do with my mana later on. Oh, I know. I'll just get in for 2, and then I will loot.
I like it.
Me too.
First pick?
Probably.
I mean, it's not coming back, right? But
yeah, exactly. So probably, and then go into blue. The blue seems fairly okay so far. Dreamcaller Siren, 2 blue for a 3/3 flash flying siren pirate at rare. Dreamcaller Siren can block only creatures with flying. Sure, fine. When Dreamcaller Siren enters the battlefield, if you control another pirate, tap up to 2 target non-land permanents.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, she's awesome.
All right, so most of the time that's going to be 2 creatures, which is totally fine. Tapping 2 creatures is a really good effect. I have seen 4-mana cards that just say tap 2.
Yep, I've played them.
Non-land permanents. So having a 3/3 body
that flies and flashes. Oh.
Yeah, so flash this in end of your opponent's turn to tap their 2 things, and then you can untap with this and get in for 3 in the air. That seems real good. I'm going to first pick that all day.
Yep.
A 3/3 flyer for 4?
Sure.
Yes.
Fleet Swallower, 5 blue for a 6/6 fish at rare.
Oh, damn, I just saw the ship.
Yeah, down in
That's a big fish.
Yep. Whenever Fleet Swallower attacks, target player puts, here you go, the top half of his or her library rounded up into his or her graveyard. Oh, Nelly. Oh. I know.
Okay, so a 7-mana mill half of target player's library, yours or theirs, on a 6/6 body?
So
what is this card doing?
I'm putting him in any blue deck, and I'm calling his name will be Altwin.
Maybe.
Because he either hits you in the face for 6 and you're getting in, or he takes half their library. By the time you get to 7, that's not a small amount of cards.
I don't know.
I'm still first picking it and trying it because that is amazing shenanigans.
I don't know if I can do that. I think this is bad.
You're totally going to do it. Don't even lie to me.
I know, but I'm trying to convince myself that this card is bad. Because I think it's really bad.
Okay. Would you play a 6/6 blue creature for 7?
Probably.
Yeah, that would be your top end of a blue deck. You've seen them before.
But it's not good. Like, that's... If I can't find a good win condition, sure, I'll pick this up. You know? Like, I'd prefer any number of the... I'd prefer an air elemental to this.
I'd prefer an air elemental to most things. What are you talking about?
Okay. But...
I'm not saying this is good. I'm just saying you will run it.
This is a bad card. Don't play it. Don't play this bad card, folks.
All right.
It has no evasion. It's not gonna.
It's got 6 bum. What do you want from it?
I want it to not die to dinosaurs.
It's fair.
I mean, on the other hand, I guess if you're not attacking with it, you can stall your opponent while they deck themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this is good.
Alright, moving on. Herald of Secret Streams. A 3 and a blue for a 2/3. Merfolk Warrior at rare. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them can't be blocked. Oh, sweet Jiminy Crickets.
Huh. Okay, so a 2/3 for 4. This is a common body in this set, it seems like. Mm-hmm. So creatures you control with +1/+1 counters. We'll need to see how many +1/+1 counters we can distribute. Like the blue-green uncommon.
I want to build a deck. I'm already thinking standard play.
Standard Merfolk? Okay.
Oh, man.
So this all depends on how many +1 counters we can find.
Sure.
Okay.
That said, it's okay. Oh, here we go. All right.
We're on to the third and final Planeswalker of the block.
Oh, yeah.
Or of
Jace,
the set.
Mr. Sexy Pants. Jace,
Mr. Emo Pants.
Cunning Castaway. 1 blue for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker Jace at Mythic. So, his +1. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, this turn, draw a card, then discard a card.
So, in a blue deck, they're not usually creature-focused, but we have seen a lot of evasive creatures. Like
a 1/1 flyer for 1.
Yeah. So, it seems like this whole set, and probably this block, is going to be very creature-focused. Mm-hmm. And limited is creature-focused anyway.
Yeah, okay. So, that's fine. -2. Create a 2/2 blue illusion creature token with. When this creature becomes the target of a spell, sack it.
So this is the new illusion ability. It used to be spell or ability, and they decided that was just too bad, so now it's just spell. Making 2/2s is fine, but that's still just a 2/2 for 3.
Yeah.
With a downside.
Yeah. -5. So you plus them a couple of times and loot, and then create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace, Cunning Castaway, except they're not legendary.
Okay. So he copies himself with 3... So at least it's interesting, because if you burn him out on this, if you have 5 loyalty and -5 him, you still have 2 copies of Jace with 3 loyalty.
Yeah.
That's weird. The question is, do you want 2 copies of Jace with 3 loyalty?
We won't talk about him in other formats, because there have been a couple of places in which people have found interesting kind of combos with him for other formats. But for limited's sake...
Well, for limited, he's a planeswalker, so you're going to take him because he's a planeswalker, right?
Probably, yeah. Put it this way, if I see him come down across the table, I'm not going to be in any big hurry
to kill him?
To kill him, because the illusion tokens don't even have flying, do they?
No, they're just 2/2s.
So
they're just bears.
I'm like, sure. My aggro deck is not going to bother attacking him.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird.
He's meh. I'm underwhelmed. I'm not saying he's unplayable. I mean, looting is...
Yeah, but you actually have to deal the damage to loot. This has all been said before by other people, but yeah. I think... I don't even know if I want to run him in limited, and he's a planeswalker.
Yeah.
But you're going to take him because he's a planeswalker and probably worth money because he's Jace, right? Yeah. So, there you go.
Yep. Kopala, Warden of the Waves. 1 blue for a 2/2 Merfolk Wizard at rare. Spells your opponent's cast that target a merfolk you control. Cost 2 more to cast. Abilities your opponents activate that target a merfolk you control. Cost 2 more to activate.
So this is interesting. He's not a merfolk lord, but...
he does help them out.
Yeah. It's funny. He's kind of merfolk frost titan.
Yeah. He's going to be annoying and something that I want to kill pretty quickly if I see my opponent running a merfolk deck. Because that extra 2 makes your 5 mana removal spell, which already you don't want to pay 5 mana for, costs 7.
On the other hand, the merfolk tend to be small anyway, so you can just run them over and not bother casting your spells at them. Like, this does nothing to your combat tricks because you're targeting your own creatures with those, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't think this is good, but in a dedicated deck, it's probably fine.
Yeah, I think it has some value.
Alright. Where do you pick it?
Not highly.
I think this is one of the ones that might actually go, like, last.
Yeah.
Especially if nobody's in Merfolk.
I think if nobody's in Merfolk, it goes last. But, yeah.
And that's it for the blue creatures. So what did we think of blue?
It had a lot of flyers.
It did.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was okay.
She likes the flyers, folks. All right,
too.
on to black. First up in black, we have Anointed Deacon. 4 and a black for a vampire cleric. It's a 3/3 at common. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target vampire get +2/+0 until end of turn. So, this is one of those vampire payoff cards. It's a common, so you might be able to get, more than one. And those effects will stack. You can give the same thing +2/+0 and +2/+0. It is a 5-drop, so
Probably going to run 2.
on his own, he's a 5/3 for 5, which seems okay. I don't know. This is one of those, again, late pack if I need a 5-drop and I'm in vampire pickups. I'm not going to pick it up early. This effect just doesn't quite do enough for me, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Bishop of the Bloodstained. 3 black for a 3/3 vampire cleric at uncommon. When Bishop of the Bloodstained enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life for each vampire you control. So, this is the Jan Gary.
I was going to say, this is the Gary of this set. I rather like him.
So this is a reason to pick up a bunch of vampires. A bunch of the vampires that you would already run, and a bunch of the ones that are, 1, 2, and 3 drops, or the things that make vampire creature tokens. You want to have your vampire board filled before dropping him, so that, you can drain your opponent for...
max value.
I mean, you're not draining, you're not gaining the life, but you can zap your opponent for, I don't know, 5.
Bite your
5
opponent?
would be good.
Yeah.
5 would be really good, actually.
This is value for those at sorcery speed spells that, you're putting the little 1/1s on the battlefield.
Yep. He counts himself, so your opponent's at least losing 1 life, but if that's the only thing you've got, I think that's pretty underwhelming. So definitely be vampire heavy before picking this guy up. Yeah,
absolutely.
Blight Keeper is a 1/1 flyer for black. It's a bat imp at common. So this is a cycle, obviously. We've seen 2 of them at this point. We saw the white one that gives your team +2/+2. We saw the blue one that draws you 3 cards, I think was that it. This one, for 7 and a black, tapping and sacrificing it, target opponent loses 4 life and you gain 4 life. So, what do we think of this one?
It's okay.
I mean, if it's the last 4, that's pretty good, right?
Sure. It's, I don't know, 21st, 22nd card.
That's what I think, too. I think this is not great, but shrug, I'll play it. It's a 1/1 flyer for 1 which,
Black
whatever.
is the color that you're going to find some combat tricks that will occasionally make him bigger and get in for more. And given that he's a flyer, he'll probably get in anyway.
It's true.
And then you've got something to do late game with your mana.
And 4 life is a lot. Like,
yeah,
8 mana is also a lot.
It can turn the tide of the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would probably run 1, but I'm not taking it until much later.
It's not a vampire bat or
That's
anything.
That's too bad, yeah. But that might make it a little bit too good.
I don't know. I can see picking up like half a dozen of these and then shotgunning them turn after turn. I don't know.
Oh, that's good.
I don't
live that dream.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to try that, but otherwise, I think it's the 23rd, 24th card.
Yeah.
Dead-Eye Tormentor. I'm just... we've seen a couple of Dead-Eyes, and none of them have been Dead-Eye Navigator. So
you're a little disappointed here.
Okay, Dead-Eye Tormentor is 2 and a black for a 2/2. Human Pirate at common. With Raid, when Dead-Eye Tormentor enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent discards a card. Well, it's not Raid Rat. What was it from Khans of Tarkir? I think it was a 2/1 for 2 that had this effect, and it was good. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about a 3-drop that makes your opponent discard?
It's a pirate, I guess. It's okay. It's probably going to be filler fodder.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, filler fodder. Because it does come down early enough that it will get a card. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be annoying.
And the card might be relevant.
And chances are you're going to swing on turn 2.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Even if you're trading on turn 2 and then make them discard a card, so this is probably okay. But I'm not going to pick it highly.
No, that's fine.
Deathless Ancient. 4 black for a Vampire Knight. It's a 4/4 at uncommon with flying. So 4/4 flyer for 6.
That's fine.
It's fine. Tap 3 untapped vampires you control. Return Deathless Ancient from your graveyard to your hand, where you have to cast him again, and he's still just a fine 4/4 flyer.
I still think it's pretty good. It's annoying because getting rid of a 4/4 flyer is a pain to start with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that too big a bum, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then to have it keep coming back, I want it in my deck, for sure.
You want one?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. This is, again, my 23rd, 24th card. Like, if I'm heavy vampires, I maybe prize it a little more, because then I know I can get it back. But I traditionally don't really like 4/4s for flyers for 6.
It's fair.
So, I don't know. I'd pick it up late.
I'd pick it up probably a lot earlier than you.
Okay. Desperate Castaways. 1 and a black for a 2/3 human pirate at common. It can't attack unless you control an artifact. And the pirate deck is the one that makes all those clues.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want my 2-drop to be able to attack. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make an artifact on its own. So unless I've got, like, there's no... We'll see what the 1-drop artifacts in this set are. But on its own, I don't think I like it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Dire Fleet Hoarder. 1 and a black for a 2/1 human pirate at common. When Dire Fleet Hoarder dies, create a colorless treasure. So
there you go.
You get a treasure when it dies, which it's going to do. So a 2/1 for 2 is mediocre, but you know it's going to die, so you know you're going to get your treasure out of it.
And then that last card can attack now.
Sure. Sure. I think I like this better than the 2/3 that can't attack.
I think this is going to be fine in a deck where you are splashing something.
Mm-hmm.
Trade off early.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that artifact around so you need to splash your color.
Yeah, surprisingly, I think this would be okay in a mid-range to long game deck, because you're going to trade it with something and then... it's all right. I'd pick one up late.
It's a utility thing for me, I think.
Okay. Dire Fleet Interloper, 3 and a black for a 2/2 human pirate with menace at common. And when it enters the battlefield, it explores. So half the time it's a 3/3 with menace.
A 3/3 pirate.
Yeah. I like this card. I think it's a fine 4-drop. 2/2 menace for 4.
Yeah.
3/3 menace for 4.
Sure.
Yeah, late pickup, I think.
I think if it weren't a pirate, I wouldn't be interested much, but if you're in a piratey kind of thing, it's okay, I guess. It's not overwhelming, that's for sure.
Have we seen any pirate payoffs other than the mythic Beckett brass? Not yet, I don't think.
Maybe? I'm not sure.
Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. 3 and a black for a 3/3 human pirate at common. When Fathom Fleet Cutthroat enters the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. So, funny, it's almost raid, but not quite. A 3/3 for 4 is fine. And then if, you attack, they block, things bounce off each other, you can just kill something. We've seen an effect like this before, and it was fine.
Yep.
And a 3/3 for 4 is also just fine. So I think this card is just fine. Just fine. Kite Sail Freebooter. 1 and a black for a 1/2 flyer. See, this is what I want to pay for my 1/2, my 1/3 flyers.
But keep reading, because it does
Yeah, alright. So it's uncommon human pirate. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. Exile that card until Kite Sail Freebooter leaves the battlefield. So this is... I can never remember which hand attack is which, but you get a non-relevant card.
Interesting. So that will steal... Removal. It will steal artifacts.
It's funny because when you're using cards like this, you're usually stealing removal, because if you don't, they're just going to get their card back anyway. So it steals the card that you want it to steal.
Now, what are the rules with vehicles? Are they always artifact creatures?
No,
or
they're
only when they are on the battlefield crude.
Yeah.
So this will hit
This will hit vehicles, yes.
Interesting, because we will see coming up there are some vehicles in this set.
So yeah, we'll see how good that is. But usually you're going to just take a removal spell anyway,
which feels pretty good.
Yeah, and this is an evasive creature, so I mean usually it's like a 1/1 for 2 that just sits there and doesn't do anything. But this one might actually attack.
Yep.
So yeah. Lurking Chupacabra. 3 and a black for a beast horror at uncommon. It's a 3/2. A 2/3. It's a 2/3 for 4. Another 2/3 for 4.
Interesting.
Whenever a creature you control explores, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/2 until end of turn.
Yowzers.
So, where have we seen explore so far? I thought it was primarily a blue and green mechanic.
We've seen it in black already. We saw it in white.
Huh. So, this might be one of those things that facilitates a non-typical or an atypical deck. Like if you have if you first pick Raska, then you're picking up the green explorers and this guy, and I don't know. So this is a build around.
Yep.
Right? Like you're probably gonna pick this guy. I think picking him early and then trying to get explore things is the wrong way to go. You're going to pick this guy up when you have, like, I don't know, 3 things that have explore, and then try to pick up more. How do you feel?
Well, I don't know. He is an uncommon. Even if you only have one.
I just think the people who want him are going to want him, and the people who don't aren't, because he's a 2/3 for 4.
Yeah, I still think I'd pick him up early-ish. There seems to be not a huge amount, but a fair amount of exploring
Okay.
that you're going to be able to at least pick up 1 or 2 pieces.
I think most of it's in green. We're going to find out.
Alrighty.
Queen's Agent. 5 and a black for a 3/3 vampire scout with lifelink at common. 3/3 for 6 with lifelink. When Queen's Agent enters the battlefield, it explores.
So Explorers is in black.
Okay.
And this is a common, which is interesting.
Yeah, so it's a 3/3/4/4 for 6 with lifelink.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is probably going to be a mediocre playable again.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it shave 1 mana off and it's something I want, but at 6 mana, it's a lot to ask.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big ask. Queen's Bay Soldier. 1 and a black for a 2/2.
It's a bear vampire.
It's a vampire bear. It's actually a vampire soldier, and it's common. So this is going to be your sea level filler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Grab them.
Ruthless Knave. I think this is the guy that the other guy was paying off. I mean, he's slinging somebody over his shoulder. Mm-hmm. So the scale works. Anyway, 2 and a black for a 3/2 orc pirate at uncommon. 3/2 for 3 is fine. You can pay 2 and a black and sacrifice a creature to create 2 treasures. Okay. You can then sacrifice 3 treasures to draw a card. So, what's the rate here? You sack 3 creatures to get 6 treasures to draw 2 cards.
You need to sack 2 creatures to get a card. Right?
Out of it if you're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
And then you have treasures left over.
Yeah.
So having a sack outlet is never a bad thing, just in case. You can maybe get incidental value, and then sacking your treasures, which you get other ways to draw cards, seems good.
Mm-hmm.
And
card draw in black?
A 3/2 for 3 is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably speculate on this mid-pack, but I'm not going all in on treasures, I don't think. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know how much...
We've seen a lot of things that make treasures.
And it's scattered over all the colors, mostly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's pretty good.
Okay. So you'd pick him up early?
Early-ish.
Early-ish? Early mid? All right.
Yeah.
Seeker's Squire is 1 and a black for a 1/2 human scout at uncommon. And when it enters the battlefield, it explores. So...
It becomes a 3/2 for 2.
2/3.
Oh, 2/3. Sorry.
So a 1/2 or a 8/2/3. So it's somewhere in the middle. I don't know. How good is Explore? We're going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a human scout, so it's not a relevant creature type, really.
Unless you have something that makes you choose your own and you can choose human, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's late pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Skittering Heartstopper. Yeesh. It's a 1/2 for black. Insect at common. And you can pay a black to give it Death Touch until end of turn. So, this is our Typhoid Rat. This is our
Death Touch for the set.
Freak has chosen. Yeah.
I'd rather it were a 1/1 for 1 with Death Touch, but...
So yeah, you'd prefer to have just Death Touch all the time rather than the extra point of toughness?
I don't really care, because generally speaking, I'm wanting to trade it off anyway, so the 2 is not going to make a whit of damage, or a whit of difference. That said, it's going to be Death Touch, so you know I'm going to draft it.
Yeah. It's interesting, because I think I'd just prefer to have Death Touch all the time.
That way you don't have to leave up a mana.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. I will
It's
take
fine.
it. Especially if there's nothing else that is straight up Death Touch, I will draft all of them.
You draft all of them. How highly do you pick 2-mana Death Touchers?
If that's all I get, if there isn't a 1-mana Death Toucher, I will pick it early-ish.
Okay.
After I've gotten where I'm going.
All right. I think I'm not as high on these things, but...
Well, in black, it is part of your removal suite that you get.
Yeah,
so.
but black tends to get some sweet removal anyway. So
Yeah, as long as you're the only one grabbing it.
fair enough. Sky March Bloodletter. 2 and a black for a 2/2 vampire soldier with flying at common.
Oh, I like him a great deal. Or her.
I think it's that guy, so yeah, him. When Sky March Bloodletter enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to flicker him as much as possible.
I like this
I
guy.
don't know. So a 2/2 flyer for 3 is just fine.
Yep.
And then having the incidental drain is perfectly
Acceptable.
Yep. Yeah, I'd pick him up as soon as I can, because 2/2 flyers are great.
Yep.
Vicious Conquistador. He's a 1/2 for black vampire soldier at uncommon. Whenever Vicious Conquistador attacks, each opponent loses 1 life.
We've seen this guy before in other sets, and he's been fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he hits for 2, basically, but he can't trade with a bear. So, I mean, it's better than a 1/1 for 1.
Yeah, and he's a vampire, so...
Okay. I'd probably pick one up, but I don't think it's a high pickup. Wanted Scoundrels. 1 and a black for a 4/3? Okay, we'll see what's going on. He's a human pirate at uncommon. When Wanted Scoundrels dies, target opponent creates 2 colorless treasures. So, giving your opponent treasures, which they can use. I think that's totally worth having a 4 power attacker.
Yeah, it is. Here, have a couple of mana. That's fine. Whatever.
I'm probably gonna first pick this thing.
Yep.
They seem
Pretty darn sweet.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of doubloons.
Also,
Let me smash your face.
it's entirely possible that they'll see standard play.
I would not be surprised.
All right, we're on to the rares. Blood Crazed Paladin is 1 and a black for a 1/1 vampire knight at rare with flash. Blood Crazed Paladin enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died this turn. I like this quite a bit. I think I'm going to first pick this and then sort of try to sculpt a scenario in which to drop him, because he's got flash, so you can do it at any time. And if one or the other player, like if you or your opponent are making a big swing and a bunch of things are going to trade, that's a time to drop this and just like win.
And the thing is, he's 2 mana, and that's not a lot to leave up.
No, it's
So,
like
I'm a
a
big
shock
fan.
or something, right? Or,
He's pretty cool.
it's going to take a little bit of sculpting, but I mean, dropping this guy when you're blocking and making trades seems real good. So, I don't know. I like him quite a bit. I think that's fun. Deadeye Tracker. Single black for a 1/1 human pirate at rare. You can pay 1 and a black and tap him to exile 2 target cards from an opponent's graveyard. Deadeye Tracker explores. So that's interesting. It's a 1/1 for 1 that you can pay 2 and tap him to explore.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like, what is it, Outlast? What was the thing
Sort
from...
of, yeah.
Like, the exile 2 cards from an opponent's graveyard. I don't think that's going to matter much in Limited. Maybe he's going to see a standard sideboard or some sort of thing, but paying 2 mana and tapping him to maybe put a +1 counter on. Well, really what you're doing is looting. Or scrying.
Oh, scrying, yeah. Sort of,
That is so weird. I'm going to take him just because he's so weird and interesting. Mm-hmm. I think that could be really potent.
Yeah. He certainly can go down later game and have some value when your opponent has stuff in their graveyard.
Yeah, or when you really need to not be drawing your land.
Yeah.
So it's a 1/1 that's better in a long game deck.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Okay. Dire Fleet Ravager. 3 black for a 4/4 Orc Pirate Wizard at Mythic with Menace and Death Touch.
Sign me up.
When he enters the battlefield, each player loses a third of his or her life rounded up. Okay, so math time. 1/3 of 20 is how much?
Oh, I hate this guy so much. How does math?
So a 4/4 Menace Death Touch for 5 is fine. Even if you are losing more life on that transaction, or even if you're behind and your life total matters more, I think he's a great blocker. A Death Touch 4/4 means that it'll block anything. It's very hard to block him because he'll kill 2 of your opponent's creatures if they're going to block him, like with Menace.
And I mean, you're in the right color with all of the incidental life gain running around. So, yeah. No, I like him. I think he's really neat. I just hate the idea of having to do the math on it.
Yeah, and you know that both players are going to have to do the math for both life totals just to make sure that everyone's doing it right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not that hard, but it's just funny.
Mm-hmm.
Bomb.
Yeah.
Bomb. Fathom Fleet Captain, 1 black for a human pirate at rare. It's a 2/1 with Menace. So he's weaker than a token. No? The 2/2 pirate token with Menace?
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's fun. Maybe because he's old. He's,
but he's menacey, so...
They're all menacey.
Oh, fair enough.
Anyway, when he attacks, if you control another non-token pirate, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/2 black pirate creature token with Menace. So, when he attacks, if you control another non-token pirate, you can make a pirate token. You don't even have to attack with anything else. He's probably going to die, because, well, if they only have 1 creature, he's getting in, so that's sweet. But if they have 2 things to block him with, he is a 1 toughness thing. I don't know. Works really well with combat tricks.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's fun. You build around him a little bit.
Now, you need to make the pirate when he attacks, so you're not going to bluff, like, do I have a trick or am I going to make a pirate? It's one or the other, unless you've got the mana. Mm-hmm. But no, I like him. I think he's good. First pick.
Yeah?
Yep, I think he's good.
Cool.
Ruin Raider. 2 and a black for a 3/2 Orc Pirate at rare. He's got Raid, because he's a Raider. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked with a creature this turn, reveal the top card of your library, and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's converted mana cost. So, he's a bad Bob?
He's a 3/2 for 3, which is fine.
That draws you cards.
And you have to. It's not a May ability.
Well, you don't have to attack with him.
With a creature. So
Yeah.
if you attacked with any creature, which you want to be doing in your deck...
It's true. But it also only does it once. So if you attack with all your creatures, you're still only doing the 1 card.
Yup. Yeah, he seems okay.
I think he's probably pretty good in an aggressive deck.
Mm-hmm.
You want the card draw there, and your life total matters less. So,
and you just better hope that you don't draw your 8-drop.
Well, if you're running him, I don't think you're running an 8-drop.
That is fair.
That's the problem with Bob, right?
Yeah.
Bob effects? I don't know. I think he's good. I think you'd have to first pick him or early pick him and then build around him a low curve, aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sanctum Seeker. 2 black for a 3/4 Vampire Knight at rare. Whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
First pick.
Yeah, that's the first pick we want. Pick all the vampires and then attack with 5 creatures, drain them for 5?
Plus whatever damage my creatures are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to open this guy
like
bad.
And that's it for black. So, what do we think of black?
Spicy.
Spicy?
There's some interesting stuff in there.
There is some interesting stuff. Like, not all of it's good, but some of it's really difficult to... It's going to make for some interesting combat decisions.
Yes, I think we are going to need to do a follow-up in, a month or so once we're into the set and see, because it's really hard in this set to evaluate, in a vacuum, because this is really weird. Some of the stuff's really weird.
I have been far less confident about my ratings with this set than with, say, Amonkhet.
Oh, sure.
But I think we're still...
Because this is a very, very tribal-heavy set, and I haven't had an experience quite...
And yet there aren't quite as many of the payoffs as I'd expect, and there are a lot of them at rare, which is where you'd want them, right?
Yeah, and we'll see when we get to the non-creatures as well, non-creature spells, see what's there. So. And our first red is Bonded Horncrest. 3 and a red for a 5/5 dinosaur at uncommon. Bonded Horncrest can't attack or block alone.
I tend to really like these cards. I love cards that can't attack or block alone, but have, like, overwhelming power.
I love the flavor. It's bonded to its rider, so it can't do anything unless it's with them.
Aww, you're such a sap.
And a 5/5 for 4 is fantastic, so sure, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'd take this early, because I love attacking with multiple creatures. So.
In red. Yeah.
Yep.
Brazen Buccaneers. It's 3 and a red for a 2/2 human pirate at common. But it has haste. And when Brazen Buccaneer enters the battlefield, it explores.
I don't know. Like, even a 3/3 for... Well, a 3/3 for 4 with haste is fine, but a 2/2 for 4? Like, it has haste, but you're not going to attack with a 2/2 on 4 because it's just going to die.
It's true.
I don't know. What do you think?
How relevant is exploring? Like, how important is it in red to...
Probably fairly relevant because, like, it's even more important that red's draws be good. Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah, it might be okay.
I think it's still going to be a late pickup.
Yeah. Charging Monstrosaur. Oh, he's a guy. 4 and a red for a 5/5 dinosaur at uncommon with trample and haste.
I would take a 5/5 for 5.
He's my new love muffin.
I'd take a 5/5 for 5 right now.
Trample and haste? Hello!
Oh, good. They're almost out of cards. Just the one left. Boom! Ow.
My little snuggle bug.
Yeah, I like it. I'd pick that up fairly early and be very happy.
He's like, hey, why are you running away? I just want a hug.
That's, that's Jurassic Park right there.
Yeah, love it. Okay. Fathom Fleet Firebrand. 1 and a red for a 2/2 human pirate at common. 1 and a red. Fathom Fleet Firebrand gets +1/+0 till end of turn.
Yeah. That seems like a bear I would play.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice.
Fire Shrine Keeper. 1 red for a 1/1. Here's our 1 red for a 1/1. At common with Menace. And for 7 and a red, this is the next in the cycle. Tap and sack it. It deals 3 damage to each. Let's try that again. It deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures.
Okay, so this one is interesting. A 1/1 for 1 that is actually going to get in a couple of times because it's got the menace.
Yep.
As soon as they throw 2 creatures in front of it, it's going to die, and it won't necessarily take something with them. So it's just going to sit there. But once you have 8 mana, taking out 2 3-power creatures, or 3 toughness creatures, is that really going to matter?
I don't know. Is this red deck going a little to the late game?
I don't know. Like, maybe.
I think this is one of those things that I'm probably going to want to try to play. Because a 1/1 for 1 with Menace could be okay in an aggressive deck.
I'd probably play one, yeah.
And then just see how it goes. So
It's a common, though, so I'll pick one up late and see.
Absolutely. Like, I think I'd run one and try it out, and but I'm not picking it up highly at all.
Yeah.
Frenzied Raptor.
Whoa.
Right? 2 and a red for a 4/2 dinosaur at common.
So this is a Trial of Strength.
That can't be repeated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. I will play these in my deck. I'll probably put 1 in, 2 in.
I'd play 1.
I like 4/2s for 3. They're fine.
I'm not a big fan of 4/2s in general, but yeah, I'd play 1.
Headstrong Brute. 2 and a red for a 3/3 Orc Pirate at common. Headstrong Brute can't block. Headstrong Brute has menace as long as you control another pirate.
Okay, so a 3/3 for 3 that can't block shouldn't block anyway.
Yeah, he's just going in my aggro deck anyway.
And yeah, if you control another pirate, he has menace. That I mean, I'm gonna play more pirates. So.
Chances are you're gonna have a pirate anyway. So yeah.
How many of these things have been pirates? The last 3?
Yeah.
Except for the Raptor? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lightning Rig Crew. 2 and a red for an 0/5 Goblin Pirate at uncommon.
0/5 is not usually what you see with the creature type Goblin.
No. So you can tap him to deal 1 damage to each opponent.
It's a pinger!
And whenever you cast a pirate spell, untap him.
Okay, so it's not actually a pinger because it doesn't hit creatures. Boy, that's weird.
So drop him on turn 3.
Uh-huh.
Turn 4, you tap him to do 1 damage to your opponent. And then you cast your first pirate spell and untap him. Then you tap him to do another damage and you play your second 2-drop and do another damage to him.
Sure, if you're living the dream.
Well, if you're in red, your chances are you're hoping to drop 1 or 2.
Dump your hand. Yeah.
2 creatures a turn, yeah. I don't know, but I think I want to try it.
Thing is, it's an 0/5 pinger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good. Like, deal 1 end of your opponent's turn every turn.
Yeah. And it blocks well as well.
It's weird that it's in an 0/5 in red that I actually kind of want to play.
Mm-hmm.
But where do you pick it up?
4 or 5, 6 in there somewhere. If I
Yeah, you pick it up high?
Relatively.
I don't think I'm picking it up early.
No?
No.
I probably will change my mind after I try it once or twice, but...
Well, I just don't think you pick it over any aggressive creature.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So...
Yeah, maybe mid to late pack.
Yeah, it's weird.
Super weird. Nest Robber. 1 red for... let's try that again. 1 and a red for a 2/1 dinosaur at common with haste.
I like that it has haste. Pikers are fine, but to be able to get in with them on the turn that you drop them is better.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I pick it up. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Probably not early.
No. Otpek Huntman. Huntmaster. Good gravy.
Otepek?
Otpek?
Otepek?
I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually.
Yep.
Huntmaster. 1 and a red for a 1/2 human shaman at uncommon. Dinosaur spells cost you 1 less to cast.
I wonder if there's going to be a green one of these.
Maybe.
Like, if I can drop... Was it a single white?
For what?
For the white one, the 03 that made your dinosaurs cheaper.
I don't remember.
So if I can drop white, that thing, red, this thing, and then if the green one is 3 mana, then I'll be able to drop a 7-drop on turn 4 dinosaur.
Live the dream, baby. Live the dream. It sounds like a standard deck.
It does, doesn't it?
Dinosaur spells, you blah, 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 blah. Tap, target dinosaur gets haste until end of turn.
This seems fun.
Yeah, it seems fine, too. I like the fact that it makes your dinos cheaper.
I'm going to pick it up when I have dinosaurs, not before.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, this guy's so cute. Raptor Hatchling, 1 and a red for a 1/1 dinosaur at uncommon.
Within rage!
In rage. When Raptor Hatchling is dealt damage, create a 3/3 green dino creature with trample.
So if this thing is dealt damage and it's probably going to die, Mama comes along.
Yeah, I have a dream.
Your dream is Jund?
No, not necessarily. I went through, spoilers, and took a look at all of this stuff and read anyway. And there is some things that you can enchant to make it a little bit bigger so that it's not as likely to die. There must be some things. Is there anything still in standard that kings target?
Fervent Paincaster, but you have to exert it. I'm sure that there's a pinger. Basically, you want to shotgun this thing.
Yeah, and just be
poop out 3/3s.
Just be pooping out 3/3s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Yeah.
I still think this is pretty good.
So you're going to get. You know what? I didn't even see it before, but this is one of the doomed traveler, doomed dissenter things.
But
like
better. When it dies, create a 3/3.
3/3. Yeah. So they keep getting bigger.
And if you can prevent it from dying, all the better. But it's still, you wind up with 4 power and toughness for 2.
Out of this thing. Yeah.
I like this guy. I'll take him very highly.
So on turn 2, you might be able to trade him. And if not, I mean, you can plink in with him because your opponent's not going to want to give you a 3/3.
Exactly.
So it's fun.
Yeah. And he's adorable.
Where do you pick him up?
Pretty highly, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. I want him to turn into a 3/3 in my aggro deck. Sure.
Yeah. That's fair.
How much damage are they going to take before they give you a 3/3?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to take him over any aggressive creature, but that might change. I might end up picking this thing more highly than I think.
Rigging Runner. Single red for a 1/1 with first strike and raid. When it enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it if you attack with a creature this turn.
What do you think of the goblins in this set? They're kind of like monkeys with salamander feet.
They're weird looking, but I love them.
Yeah.
I also like this card a great deal because if you've attacked with him, or if you've attacked with something, this is a 2/2 first strike for 1 mana.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Do you play him on turn 1 anyway?
No, not generally, I wouldn't think.
No?
But I would. I mean, he's still going to outdo all of their X1s, and there are a lot in this set, so...
I think you're right. I don't play him on turn 1. What I do is I play a 2/2 on turn 2, and then play another 2/2 and this on turn 3 after attacking. Yeah, alright. So where do you pick him?
Early, but not first.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I would pick him first if there was not a good rare.
Sure, but let's not focus on bad packs. I don't think it's first pickable. I think early is probably right, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you know you're going aggressive, this seems like a really good card.
Rummaging Goblin. Is this a reprint?
Oh, yes.
I thought so. 2 and a red for a 1/1. Tap, discard a card, draw a card.
This is where the term rummage comes from. He's fine. Just fine. I usually don't end up running them, but I will, so...
Sure. Stormfleet Arsonist. 4 and a red for a 4/4 Orc Pirate at uncommon with raid. Boy, he's cuts an impressive image, doesn't he?
Let's talk about the fact that his axe is an anchor.
Yeah, that really
an anchor on a harpoon.
Yeah.
It's an anchor roped to a harpoon.
That's wild. When Stormfleet Arsonist enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent sacks a permanent.
So, in a red deck, you're probably going to get raid off of this thing.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet.
They have to sack something. Mm-hmm. And he's already a 4/4 for 5. I would probably pick this guy up first.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet. And the flavor's great.
Yeah.
Like, he's huge. He comes down, you're like, whoa. Stormfleet Pyromancer. There's lots of fire going on. 4 and a red for a 3/2 human pirate wizard at common with raid. When it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, Stormfleet Pyromancer deals 2 damage to target creature or player.
That's a mouthful, eh?
Boy, howdy.
Okay, so probably less good than the last one, but still fine.
Yeah.
When Stormfleet Pyromancer enters the battlefield. So it only happens the once, but it shocks anything. How much did Mardu Heartpiercer cost? Was that a 4-drop? This is probably still good. I like this.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like free shocks.
Well, it's not free, because you wouldn't play a 3/2 for 5.
No, that's true.
But, yeah, it seems okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting you're doing 2 damage, probably killing a creature, and getting a 3/2 out of the bargain.
You can also finish something off with it, you know, if...
Sure, because you've gotten raid. Yeah, actually,
Yep.
that's really good. So, yeah, I think I will put one
of these.
or so
Yeah,
in my deck.
probably one.
Mm-hmm. Sun-Crowned Hunters. 4 red for a 5/4 dinosaur at common with
rage.
Whenever Sun-Crowned Hunters is dealt damage, it deals 3 damage to that target opponent. Oh.
Anytime it's dealt damage. So here's a better one for you to
to
ping with, yeah, or ping at.
I like this guy.
So
he's still 6.
It's a 5/4 for 6, which is, you know,
okay,
still fine, because 5 power, they're gonna want to block it. They're not going to want to take it that long. But it's probably going to kill something, and then also kill something else.
Yeah.
I like that it can go to the dome, so it's not just wasted damage if they don't have a creature,
Yeah,
or if they can't kill something.
No, it doesn't go to the creature at all. It just goes to the opponent.
Oh, right.
Which is fine.
So it doesn't kill something else.
No,
but
it
it'll
kills,
deal 3 damage to the opponent. Yeah, and if you can somehow get pings on it, that would be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I like this.
Me too.
I mean, they're 6 mana and they're common, so you'll probably be able to get one.
Yeah.
I think. I can't see this going early, so pick it up wherever it ends up coming to you. Yeah. Probably on the wheel, I'm guessing.
Thrash of Raptors. 3 and a red for a 3/3 creature dinosaur at common. As long as you control another dinosaur, Thrash of Raptors gets +2/+0 and has trample.
Okay, so how likely is it for you to have another dinosaur?
Incredibly likely.
Probably pretty likely. So can we just call it a 5/3 with trample for 4?
Almost. Unless it's by itself.
Almost. Yeah.
But even a 3/3 for 4 is okay.
Yeah. A 3/3 for 4 is fine. So a 5/3 with trample for 4 is pretty good.
I think this is something you actively want if you're going to be running even, a couple of dinosaurs. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Tilonali's Knight. I haven't read any of these out loud.
Oh, any of the names? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Tilonali. I'm guessing that's it. 1 and a red for a 2/2 creature human knight at common. Whenever Tilonali's Knight attacks, if you control a dinosaur, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Sweet. A bear with an upside.
Yep. Sure.
I'll Take it.
Sounds good.
I don't think it's going to be hard to have a dinosaur.
Nope.
It might be hard to have a dinosaur on turn 3, but...
Otherwise.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So where do you pick it?
When I'm picking up my, filler fodder.
Filler fodder? All right.
Wily Goblin. Oh, those wily goblins. Red for a 1/1. Creature, goblin, pirate at uncommon.
You just stole that guy's hat.
I know. I love him. He's so cute. When Wily Goblin enters the battlefield, create a treasure artifact.
Okay. So... I'm kind of out on this. A 1/1 for red that makes a treasure?
Yeah, doesn't seem great.
No. I mean, unless you really want the treasures for some reason.
Yeah.
I do love the art, though. He's like, hey, you stole my hat. What is it with goblins stealing hats?
I don't know, but they're adorable.
All right, we're on the rares.
Angrath's Marauders. 5 red for a 4/4 human pirate at rare. If a source you control will deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead.
If a source you control... oh... Source you control. I think I like this.
Yep.
So it's effectively an 8/4.
Yep.
4, 5, 6, 7. See, I like that. I like an 8/4 for 7. And then it makes all of your other stuff basically double strikey.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't get the first strike, but you know what I mean. This is an actively good card, I think.
So... let me make sure I'm getting this correctly. Every time that bird gets dealt damage and does 3 damage to your face, suddenly it's doing 6 damage to your face.
Yes, indeed. And if you pick up a lightning strike, you can kill a 6 toughness creature with it.
Oh boy, this is a first pickable card, and it's a bomb
so.
all the way.
I think so, and you know what? You take this, and then every single copy of lightning strike you can find.
So is this going to make you more likely to run the 05 to be able to get to a 7-drop thing?
Oh, absolutely. And because it'll then be shotting them for 2.
Yep.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Burning Sun's Avatar. Here's the red avatar. 3 red for a 6/6 dinosaur avatar at rare. When Burning Sun's Avatar enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target opponent and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature.
Okay, so if it's the only creature, it doesn't have to deal 3 to itself, which is, I mean, whatever. But it's a 6/6 for 6 that deals 3 damage to the opponent immediately and possibly kills a thing? Yeah, I think I want to play this in a red deck.
Me too.
Would you first pick a triple red card?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, this is probably fine.
More likely than I would a double color card, because, I mean, you're still able to, at 6 mana, you're still able to run a second color.
Yeah, you just want to be heavily red.
Yep.
I think.
But with what we've seen so far, I'm going to have no issue being coerced into playing red.
Fair enough.
Captain Lannery Storm. I love that name. It's fantastic. 2 and a red for a 2/2 human pirate who looks very happy. At rare, with haste. Whenever Captain Lannery Storm attacks, create a treasure. Whenever you sack a treasure, Captain Lannery Storm gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
All right.
Turn, not term.
2/2 for 3 with haste is okay. So you get a treasure when she attacks, and then immediately get to the opportunity to sack it. So anytime she attacks, she's effectively threatening 3.
Yep.
Right? So a 3/2-ish with haste for 3.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
If for no other reason, then you get to say Captain Lannery Storm.
All right. First pick or not?
Yeah, I think probably.
Okay. I don't think... I mean, possibly first pick, but I'd be looking at the rest of the pack. It wouldn't be a slam.
For me, it's a 3/2 for 3 with haste.
Okay.
It's a nice little aggro card.
Yep.
Captivating Crew. 3 and a red for a 4/3 human pirate at rare. 3 and a red, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you would cast a sorcery. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I kind of like effects, spells that you can steal your opponent's creature, but to have it on a creature and it's a 4/3 for 4 that I would play anyway.
Yeah, it's expensive, but the fact that it doesn't cost a card means that
and you can do it. So you could, if you had 8 mana sitting there, you could take 2 of their things because there's no tap ability.
Yes, that's true. And then you can attack with this, which is the point. Like
yeah.
You'll be able to use it the turn after you cast it because you'll already have the cost. So yeah, this is pretty good. A 4/3 for 4 seems like a pretty good body for this. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably better than Lannery Storm.
I think so. I would definitely first pick this.
Yeah.
It's fun. Rampaging Ferocidon. 2 and a red for a 3/3 dinosaur at rare with menace. Whoa, boy, this is a hoser. Players can't gain life. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to that creature's controller.
Huh.
This guy's something. So, yeah, this is a vampire deck hoser for sure.
Yep.
But you need to remember, if you're running it, that any incidental life gain you have, you're not getting it.
Yep. You probably don't care if you're in heavy red.
3/3 for 3 is good.
This also deals damage to you when you drop creatures.
Yep.
I wonder if this is good enough for Cube. I don't know. Probably not. It's weird. But I like it. I like the 3/3 for 3 with menace.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it hurts your opponents for casting creatures.
Yeah.
I like the players can't gain life. You're probably not gaining life in red anyway. Like, you can pair with white, but you probably don't care that much. So, yeah, I'd first pick this.
Yeah. Rowdy Crew. I love it. 2 red for a 3/3 human pirate at Mythic. With Trample, when Rowdy Crew enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Then discard 2 cards at random. If 2 cards that share a card type are discarded this way, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Rowdy Crew.
I know that what they're doing there is like splitting up the booty, but it looks like they're sitting down for a game of Hearthstone.
That's what I was thinking too. Oh, that's funny.
Okay. 3/3 trample for 4 is fine. And then that text, I'm having trouble parsing it. So you draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards at random.
Yep.
If 2 cards share a type, you put 2 counters on it, so it becomes a 5/5.
Yep. So you flip the 2 cards over.
No, because you draw 3 cards, and then from your entire hand, you discard 2 at random.
Right, but then you have to look at them to see if they share a type.
Once they're discarded, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you look at them. I'm assuming you have to reveal them to your opponent because...
Not when you draw them.
No. I mean after.
Well, when they're in your graveyard, they're face up.
Oh, fair enough. Derp.
Yeah. I mean, it's a reason to bank extra lands, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. I think I'm just rating this as a 3/3 trampler that draws you a card.
It seems fine.
Seems fine. Mm-hmm. First pick?
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, maybe not either, though. But I could see it. Yeah.
I mean, what... So what is it? What does it have to hit for you to get the +1/+1 counters? 2 lands, or...
Sure. 2 creatures, maybe.
Sure.
But then you're discarding 2 creature cards.
But you're getting a 5/5 with trample.
Yeah. But you could just hit a creature and a land, and then it's a...
Still a 3/3 with trample plus the extra card in your hand.
That draws you a card, yeah.
Because you don't really draw much in red. So I'm all... Yeah, I
like
it.
All right. That's fair.
Tilonali's Skin Shifter. 2 and a red for an 0/1 human shaman with haste.
Okay.
Whenever Tilonali's Skin Shifter attacks, it becomes a copy of another target non-legendary attacking creature until end of turn.
Huh.
Hoo-hoo. I like these shenanigans.
So you want to make it a copy of your big dumb
Dinosaur?
Big dumb dino. Yeah. It's got haste, so what are you making it into on turn 3?
Whatever you have on the battlefield that's swinging, I guess?
It's funny. I think this gets better in the later the game goes.
I think so too. Absolutely.
It's like, you don't really want to drop it on turn 3. You want to drop it on turn 7 with another 4-drop. Or...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Sure, I'll take it. Do you first pick it?
If I don't, somebody else is going to.
It's true.
I probably would first pick it, yes.
All right. And that's it for the red. What do we think of red?
I liked red.
I think I liked the commons more than the rares.
Yeah. I think some of the rares seem really flavorful and fun.
And weird, though.
Yeah, very strange. I've found that there's a bunch of really weird cards. Mm-hmm. And we're going to find more of them that aren't creature-based, that are just bizarre.
Okay.
So.
All right, on to green. Ancient Brontodon is 6 green for a 9/9 dinosaur at common. Well, that's big.
I will have no problem saying to my opponent, he just wants a hug. It looks like a Brontosaurus. He doesn't want to bite you. It eats trees.
So it's an 8-mana 9/9.
Yup.
We're going to have to see if there's ramp.
We've already seen that there is ramp.
Okay, fair enough. See, the thing is, at 8 mana, I want more than just any amount of power and toughness. It doesn't have trample, it doesn't have evasion.
But it's a dinosaur.
It is. It's true.
It's also a 9/9. It is the biggest. It is the biggest power in this set.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's not the biggest toughness, but it's the biggest power.
I think it's going to go late.
Oh, I do too. Don't get me wrong. I am not first picking that at all.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I'd run it, but I know I'm going to get stomped by it occasionally.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to remove.
All right. I think it's probably the sort of thing that's going to end up going last pick, but when it comes down across the table from you, you're going to be like, well...
Why didn't I pick that? Yeah.
At Zokan Archer. 2 and a green for a 1/4 human archer at uncommon with reach. So archers usually have reach. When it enters the battlefield, you may have it fight another target creature. This is weird. It's a 1/4 that can fight something. So it'll take out an X1 and probably not die because it's got 4 toughness.
It's going to take out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of X1s running around, so...
I think I'd sideboard this. I don't think I'd play it.
Yeah, maybe not. It doesn't have any other relevant human, but...
Yeah.
No.
No, this is a sideboard card. Like, I'd pick one up for my board because I'd pull it in against X1s, I'd pull it in against flyers, but I'm not going to main board this.
Yeah.
Blossom Dryad, 2 and a green for a 2/2 Dryad at common. Tap it to untap target land.
Hey, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet.
It's okay. I've seen better mana dorks.
Sure.
But yeah, it's okay. Probably end up running like 5 of them.
I know.
Colossal Dreadmaw is 4 green for a 6/6 Trampler. It's a dinosaur at common. See, this is the kind of thing that I'm much more likely to scoop up than an 8 mana 9/9. Just because a 6/6 for 6 with trample ends games.
Sure. Although a 9/9 ends your Dreadmaw. But cha. No, I get what you're saying, and I agree. Absolutely.
So late.
Yeah.
Probably.
Top of the curve. I'm not looking to pick it up early.
No.
How
early do you pick up Colossopetes?
I don't play green, so I don't.
Oh.
No, when I do, it's usually middle to middle.
So you probably never see them. Yeah.
Yeah, not that often.
Deeproot Warrior. 1 and a green for a 2/2 Merfolk Warrior at common. Whenever Deeproot Warrior becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Sweet. It's a bear that will kill an X3.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Yep. Where do you pick it up? Mid?
Yeah, it's filler.
It's better than filler. But yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna want to pick up 2/2s and where I'm gonna want to pick up, 6/6s. Drover of the Mighty. 1 and a green for a 1/1 human druid at uncommon. Drover of the Mighty gets +2/+2 as long as you control a dinosaur. Ooh, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
Ooh.
So, yeah, this is the mana druid that I really like because
it's multifunctional.
It's 2 mana instead of 3 mana.
Yep.
And it can also attack as a 3/3 once I've dropped the thing I want to cast off it. So, I would pick this up early.
Absolutely.
Very early. Probably, I might even first pick this. Grazing Whiptail. 2 green for a 3/4 with reach. It's a common dinosaur.
Yep.
This is the thing with reach that I would
mid-pack pick up.
Actually play.
Yeah.
Though.
Grab one of.
For the same price as a giant spider, you get 1 more point of power.
Yeah.
It's just the extra green.
And we already know there's a fair amount of flyers running around. So.
Yeah, and small flyers. Yeah. So this is probably pretty good to put 1 in your deck. Ixalan's Diviner. 1 and a green for a human druid at common. It's an 0/3, and when she enters the battlefield, she explores. So, possible 0/3, possible 1/4 for 2? I don't really like it.
I'm not interested at all.
No, I'd prefer to have a 3/1 or a 2/2.
Yep.
Over even a 1/4 for...
Yep, this is sideboard only for me.
What are you siding it in against?
The only time I'm ever siding this... No, you know what? No. In green, I'm going to have big butt creatures anyway. So, no.
Yeah.
Forget it.
I don't like it.
I like the art.
Yeah. Ixalan's Keeper. 1 and a green for a 2/2 human shaman at common. And this is the completion of this cycle. For 7 and a green, tap and sack it. Target creature gets +5/+5 and gains trample until end of turn.
But here's the thing. This is already innately playable.
It's not a 1/1 for 1. It's a 2/2 for 2.
It's a bear.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly fine. And you just keep it around if you're not going to kill something with it.
And I think it's already like head and shoulders above the other ones just because green wants to get to 8 mana and like
we'll
white
get
doesn't.
there sooner.
You know?
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I think it's quite good.
So this is an early pick bear. I don't think I'm going to first pick it very often.
No.
But I think it's
above a lot of other bears.
The bear that we want.
The bear we care about.
Jade Guardian. 3 and a green for a 2/2 hexproof merfolk shaman at common. When Jade Guardian enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target merfolk you control. So it could be itself. A 3/3 hexproof for 4 is not bad.
Yeah.
Could be something else. And this is kind of the first indication we have that +1 counters are a thing in green. Or that it's actually going to pay off. 3/3 for 4 hexproof. That seems pretty good.
I like it quite a bit.
Because then you can use your combat tricks or your auras or whatever without fear of removal. Yeah. Pick one up early, pick one up late, pick one up... Where are you picking this up? Probably fairly early. This is the Merfolk deck, though, not the Dinosaurs deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jungle Delver. Green for a 1/1. Merfolk Warrior at common. For 3 and a green, you can put a +1/+1 counter on Jungle Delver.
Huh.
You can do that anytime. You can do it as much as you like. I think that's a playable 1/1.
And he's a merfolk, so you could have used your other dude to put a counter on him too.
It's true.
Yeah, he seems okay.
Was that a... Yeah. Yeah, I like this. I will pick one up whenever I happen to pick one up.
Yeah, it's not a high pick for me, though.
Kumena's Speaker. Green for a 1/1, Merfolk Shaman at uncommon. Kumena's Speaker gets +1/+1 as long as you control another Merfolk or an island. That's interesting. So you can drop an island turn 2 and immediately it's a 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Now they don't stack. It's not like +1 for a Merfolk and +1 for an island.
Yeah.
It's either or.
That would be
becomes a 2/2.
Much, yeah.
I could see them doing it, but that would be probably rare.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I like this. I think green is getting playable 1-drops. What's that about?
Mm-hmm.
Merfolk Branchwalker. 1 and a green for a 2/1 Merfolk Scout at uncommon. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. So a 2/1 for 2 is okay. A 3/2 for 2 is good. And I think that makes this card playable. Raging Raptors. 2 and a green for a 2/3 dinosaur at common. It does have Enrage. Whenever Raging Raptors is dealt damage, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library.
You like this one, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I like this one a lot.
It's pretty sweet.
So it's probably just going to trade with something, get you a land, and die.
Mm-hmm.
But that's totally fine. I don't know. How much do I like this card? I don't typically mind 2/3s for 3.
Here's the thing. It's red. It's green. It's getting you a basic land card. This is really good for fetching up that second, third, or in your case, fourth color that you really shouldn't be splashing.
I've been doing that recently because the set supports it.
I blame the little devil on your shoulder from the next pod whispering at you.
I don't... We love you, Mike. I don't know if that really is supported in this.
No, but it certainly can get you that other... It's not just gets you a land card. It allows you to smooth out any issues you may have with your color balance.
Where would you pick it up?
Fairly early, I would think. A 2/3 for 3 is fine, and the extra land if it dies, and not dies, if it gets damaged.
Gets damaged, yeah. So your opponent's going to be either taking 2 or not attacking you or giving you extra land. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I like this one a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it a first pick build around. It's probably not. It's probably just an early pick.
Sure.
Ravenous Daggertooth is 2 and a green for a 3/2 dinosaur at common with Enrage. Whenever Ravenous Daggertooth is dealt damage, you gain 2 life.
That's not gonna ever get old.
Whenever it is dealt damage, you gain 2 life. Not really relevant, I think, in green, but it's a 3/2 for 3, so playable.
And it's sitting there at common, so sure.
I think it's a fine playable. Pick it up whenever.
Yep.
Snapping Sailback is a 4/4 for 4 and a green dinosaur at uncommon with Flash.
Ooh.
And Enrage. Whenever a Snapping Sailback is dealt damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
That seems sweet.
It does seem sweet. Like,
it just gets bigger and bigger.
Imagine flashing this into block.
So the +1 counter goes on it before...
No, it's dealt damage. So if it takes 4 or more damage, it just dies.
Fair enough. There we go.
But if it takes 3 damage, it immediately gets a counter.
Nice.
So you'll be untapping with a 5/5. That's not likely. Like, this is fairly telegraphed if you're leaving 5 mana open. Although you might just be holding a land in hand, so who knows? You know, I don't know. I think I'm going to call this a high pick. I want this card. Spike-tailed Ceratops, 4 and a green for a 4/4 dinosaur at common. Spike-tailed Ceratops can block an additional creature each combat.
I like Sarah.
I assume because its tail blocks something. Well, there it is in the art.
And it's giant, so...
Yeah, what do you think of a 4/4 for 5 that blocks an additional creature?
It seems fine. I think it's really good against the aggressive strategy with the little creatures.
See, my problem is, like, I don't really care how many creatures it blocks. I want to attack with it.
Well, you can. You can do that, too.
Although it does do something to stabilize you if, you know, it's dealing its damage spread out. So, yeah. Where would you pick it?
Middle end.
Mid to late? Yeah. Thundering Spineback. 5 green for a 5/5 dinosaur at uncommon. Other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1.
Oh boy, howdy.
And you can pay 5 and a green to create a 3/3 dinosaur creature token with trample, which immediately becomes a 4/4 because it gives it +1/+1. So,
boy, this is kind of a bomb. If you can get this down, oh boy, howdy.
a 7 mana 5/5 dinosaur lord that makes dinosaurs. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Would you first pick this?
Yeah, I think so. And then
Alright.
you kind of prioritize a little bit of ramp.
There are just so many
dinos.
dinosaurs that
Yeah.
I think this is going to be real good.
And there's some mana sink there for later. Oy.
Well, I mean, you already have to cast it to...
Oh, well, you get it on the field, but then after that, you can, you know, spend 6 mana here, 6 mana there.
Yep.
Get a 4/4.
Actually, that's really good, because if it's your last card, you're only drawing 1 card a turn. Maybe you just want to make some dinos. Yeah. Tishanna's Wayfinder. 2 and a green for a 2/2 with Explore. This is sort of a vanilla Explore card. How good is Explore? Do we want a 3 mana 2/2 that draws us a land?
I think so in green. I think this is better in green.
Yeah, actually, this is probably fine. I think it's only a mid to late pickup, though. I don't think I'm picking it early.
No.
Vine Shaper Mystic. Ooh, pretty. 2 and a green for a 1/3 Merfolk Shaman at uncommon. When Vine Shaper Mystics enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target Merfolk you control.
So it gets itself and something else. Or 2 other things.
Yep. This is good. I think this is... how many Merfolk do you need before you're happy? Like, in your deck?
Handful?
A handful? Yeah, even just a 2/3 for 3 is still fine. So, yeah. This is probably a reasonably early pickup. Wild Growth Walker.
Oh.
1 and a green for a 1/3 elemental at uncommon. It looks bigger than that. Whenever a creature you control explores, put a +1/+1 counter on Wild Growth Walker, and you gain 3 life. So, I'm going to call this a build around, because I want to pick it and then just look for explore things.
It's kind of like the thing in black was.
Yeah. And what was that? That wasn't explore, was it? It was explore.
It was explore.
So, this is kind of where the black-green deck looks. It's the explore deck. Yeah. I like it. I'd build around it, so I'd probably pick it first.
Yeah, I get you.
Alright, we're on to the rares, or in this case, mythics. Carnage Tyrant is 4 green for a 7/6 mythic dinosaur. Carnage Tyrant can't be countered.
Yep.
It has trample, and it's hexproof.
Oh, jeez. That's gross. That's
Cool.
the 6-drop you want in your dinosaur deck.
6 mana. Yeah. No, absolutely. This is a first pick
ender.
bomb.
Yeah.
Trample and hexproof and can't be countered. How do you deal with that?
You
block
triple block.
Yeah. Yep, that's a bomb. Death Gorge Scavenger. 2 and a green for a rare 3/2 dinosaur. Whenever Death Gorge Scavenger enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile target card from a graveyard. If a creature card is exiled this way, you gain 2 life. If a non-creature card is exiled this way, Death Gorge Scavenger gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Oh. So when he first comes down, you gain 2 life.
Yes.
Because there's no point in putting a +1 counter on him.
Giving him +1, yeah. They're not counters.
Right, fair enough.
So this is the fixed Scavenging Ooze.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not that good, but it's still pretty good. A 3/2 for 3 is fine, and then attacking with a 4/3 for 3 seems real good.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think this is a first pick playable.
I think so too.
Deep Root Champion, 1 and a green for a 1/1 Merfolk Shaman at rare. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Deep Root Champion. So this is interesting. You'd expect this to be the
blue?
In the blue deck, but blue-green is the Merfolk, so...
And if you're going to be... We didn't really see much in blue. Oh, we don't know yet because we haven't done them. That's why we haven't seen much in blue.
Yep.
So I would assume that there's going to be a fair amount of non-creature spells in blue.
Well, yeah.
So this could be pretty good.
Maybe. I don't think I like it. Like, I think I'd try to wheel it if I first pick something in blue. I don't really like cards like this.
That are dependent on other
They're
things.
dependent on non-creature spells in limited.
But if this were a flyer, would you?
I mean, no.
Fair enough.
If it had flying, I'm still not interested. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we just had one of these, but it had a bigger bum. But
Well,
that
yeah.
was... Yeah.
That's the thing. This is a 1/1.
Fair enough.
So, I don't know. I don't really like it.
I'm not a big fan either.
Emperor's Vanguard. 3 and a green for a 3/4 human scout at rare. Whenever Emperor's Vanguard deals combat damage to a player, it explores.
Yeek.
So, yeah, this is pretty good. A 4/3 for 4 is fine, and then the potential of starting to put counters on it or draw lands off the top. It's probably going to trade with something fairly quickly, but that's okay too, I guess. I'd probably first pick Speculation, but it's not a bomb or anything. It's just serviceable.
Yeah. Is that what you think, Salem?
Old Growth Dryads. Single green for a 3/3 Dryad at rare. So, what do you think of a 3/3 for 1?
I love a 3/3 for 1, even if they are going to be called Old Gross Dryads.
When Old Growth Dryads enter the battlefield, each opponent may search his or her library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle their library. So what do you think of a 3/3 that sets you back on land?
Well, I would personally think of it as puts your opponent ahead on land. I would prefer to see this in red.
Sure.
Aggro.
This is not an unheard of thing to see. Usually you're... I'm trying to think of what the last one was. It was, I thought, in Khans of Tarkir, there was a 3/3 or a 4/4 that couldn't attack unless you had 4 or more lands or something. which is hitting me as similar.
I don't
No? You
think
don't you don't see it?
similar at all, because you're giving your opponent a land in exchange for you having a 3/3.
Basically, you're almost giving them an extra turn's worth of mana. So
Yeah.
it's weird. What do you think of it?
Well, it means that they can drop a 3-drop on turn 2,
Yep.
but you've already dropped a 3-drop on turn 1.
It's true, but you won't be able to drop another 3-drop going forward until
when you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's okay still. You get a jump, you're going to get in for 3, I'm sure. Or
Maybe.
take out their first thing. You don't like it?
I don't know. I'm scared. I don't think I like it.
Interesting. It feels out of place here. It feels like it belongs in red. Because for me, that would be a perfectly...
You're also fixing their mana as a thing. It's like... I don't think I like it.
Again, in red, I wouldn't care, because the whole point is for me to get in and kill them as fast as possible, and a 3/3 for 1 is awesome.
Yeah, but this is definitely a green effect, so...
Yeah, I don't know. You think it's unplayable?
I think it's unplayable.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't play green a lot. It feels really out of place to me. Like, early aggressiveness is not what I think of as green
But the
behavior.
abilities are absolutely in green's pie, so...
Sure, but you're normally giving yourself the basic land card, not your opponent.
Do you want to play this?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
Ripjaw Raptor is 2 green for a 4/5 dinosaur at rare with...
Do it. Enrage!
Whenever it is dealt damage, you draw a card. This one I like.
Yeah.
A 4/5 for 4 that draws you cards.
Sure.
Or just hits them in the face for 4.
Sure.
Yeah. Snap it up. I'd first pick this.
Sure.
Verdant Sun's Avatar. We have the Avatar for green. 5 green for a 5/5 dinosaur avatar at rare. Whenever Verdant Sun's Avatar or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness.
Oh, that's annoying. In green. Oh, gosh.
So it's a 5/5 for 7 that gains you 5 life.
Cool.
That should stabilize you.
Yeah.
How many more creatures are you going to drop after this? Maybe 2?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe you hope to ramp into this?
Yeah.
But it should be the biggest thing in your deck, or one of the biggest things in your deck.
Unless you're running a 9/9. I'll stop.
Okay, you know what? If I have this, I'll pick the 9/9.
Fair enough.
I'll pick many 9/9s and many 5s
Yeah.
and whatever. Yeah.
You think this is playable?
Oh yeah, I think it's playable. I think it's a build around almost. Like if you did build around it, it would be fun and annoying for your opponent. You can just play it, I think.
I think a 5/5 that
gain
gains you
5.
5 life is fine, yeah.
Yeah, alright. Waker of the Wilds. 2 green for a 3/3 Merfolk Shaman at rare. You can pay X green to put X +1/+1 counters on target land you control. That land becomes an 0/0 elemental creature with haste. That's still a land. So
It's very flavorful.
it wakes up the wilds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. 3/3 for 4. That is a late game mana sink when you've already got more lands than you know what to do with. I think this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty neat.
First pick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. And that's it for green. So what do we think of green?
Green was pretty neat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked green. I am super looking forward to seeing how the colors interact, the tribalness. We won't know until we see the combat tricks, the removal, that sort of stuff tomorrow, how the set will really pan out. But in the meantime, we just a few uncommons. Colorless. And then we'll give final sort of thoughts. So our first and only actual colorless creature is Gilded Sentinel, a 4/4 for 3.
You mean the 3/3 for 4?
3/3 for 4, which is a golem at common. It's filler. It's probably fine.
And the thing is, if you have one of the 2 or 3 cards that care about artifacts, it's a fine artifact to grab if you need
true.
it, and it's a fine filler. Like a 3/3 for 4 is okay.
Yeah, you probably don't want to run it, but you're fine running it. So yeah.
24th card. Sure.
Yeah, 24th, 23rd, 24th. Yeah. Okay, the next one I hesitate to put here just because it's less a creature than any of the other vehicles, but oh no, I'm sorry, that's the next one.
I was gonna say
So here we have I forgot it was a rare. Dusk Legion Dreadnought is a 5-mana 4/6 vehicle at uncommon with vigilance. Its crew is 2.
This is pretty darn good.
I like this one quite a bit.
I would first pick this, and I'm not a fan of...
Yeah, you'd first pick this?
I think so. Unless there was something like super bomby, but...
I don't know if I'd first pick it, but I'd be happy to have one because it's a 5-mana 4/6 vigilant. And all you have to do is crew it up with like a 2/2.
Yeah. So
it allows your 2/2 to get in on attacks, and it allows your other 2/2 to block, a 5-power creature. This seems like something that's pretty good at making your smaller creatures, giving them versatility for a later game.
Yeah.
The vigilance really makes it. I think this is good. I'd pick one up fairly early because it's also it's colorless, so it would go in anything.
Yep.
Next we have Sleek Schooner, which is a 4/3 vehicle for 3 at uncommon. I like that they're uncommons. I don't think there's a common vehicle.
Okay, good. I like that.
Yeah. It crews 1. So again, this seems very powerful. Like any of those... if I have one of those 1-mana 1/1s that does a thing when
Later
you sacrifice it,
yeah.
If I have one, I want one of these.
Yeah.
Because that means that I can use it for this.
Yep.
And a 4/3 for 3 is fine. So if there's a creature that I can't attack with anyway, I'm happy to attack with this.
Seems good.
I'm not going to pick one up early. I'm going to pick one up whenever. Conqueror's Galleon.
Here's the biggest toughness I was talking about.
Is it? Okay, so this is the one that I was talking about. I'm not sure about it being in the creature review because it's not really a creature. It's a 4-mana vehicle at rare that crews for 4 and becomes a 2/10. When it attacks, exile it at the end of combat. So whether it hits or not, if it's attacking, you're exiling. Then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control. So it's weird because none of the other, or not many of the other transform cards exile, except for the ones that become land. And spoiler, this becomes a land.
But still, I still think this belongs in the creatures because you could choose not to use it for that. You could choose to use it as a blocker.
Yeah, you just want to block with it?
I wouldn't, but you could, and therefore I think it's worth going over.
It's crew 4 is the thing, so it's like maybe all of your little 1/1s gather together to crew it, or you're trading 4 power in defense for 2 power in defense, Anyway, we'll see what happens when it transforms. So Conqueror's Foothold is a land that you can tap to add colorless to your mana pool, or you can pay 2 and tap it to draw a card, then discard a card, or you can pay 4 and tap it to draw a card, or you can pay 6 and tap it to return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Seems pretty sweet.
So that seems amazing. I don't know. I mean, maybe the 2/5 or the 2/10, sorry, is going to help you to block and survive.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you want to transform it as fast as possible and then just start, pay 4 to draw a card seems fine.
Yeah.
Pay 6 to return your best thing from your graveyard to your hand also seems like it's a lot of mana.
But late game, it's, an embalm almost.
Yeah, this is a pretty good mana sink, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you pick it up? I mean, is it a first pickable card? I don't know.
I think I need to see what else is in the pack.
So it's not like a slam.
I'm not like, oh my gosh, I opened one. But I think it's a pretty safe.
It reminds me a lot of Trader's Post.
I mean, the thing is, you're getting in for 2, or you're killing something, because it's very unlikely.
Or you're just bumping against a 3/3.
Sure. Worst case. And then you get to do all of the cool stuff with, and then it's land with some upside. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
It sure does look gorgeous.
Gosh, that's beautiful.
Conqueror's Foothold. All right. Fell Flagship is a 3-mana vehicle at rare, which crews for 3 and becomes a 3/3. So a 3/3 for 3/3. But it gives pirates you control +1/+0, and it does that naturally. So your 2/2 can crew this. Your 2/2 pirate can crew this. Relevantly, the 2/2 menace pirate tokens can crew this. That seems pretty good. Whenever Fell Flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. So they're going to want to try to block this, unless they have no cards in hand, in which case they might take 3, or they might trade something with it. I think this looks pretty good. You don't even have to necessarily attack or crew with it. It could just be a 3-mana enchantment that gives all your pirates +1/+0.
Yeah, I'm first picking this and going it all in pirates.
All in pirates?
Oh, yeah.
Just the whole Grixis pirates?
All in.
Yep. All right. I would probably do the same. This seems pretty sweet. Shadowed Caravel is a 2-mana vehicle at rare that crews for 2 and becomes a 2/2. Whenever a creature you control explores, put a +1/+1 counter on Shadowed Caravel. Caravel?
Caravel, yeah.
So it's the little cousin to the big pirate boomy thing. Like the last one was a pirate flagship. This one is the merfolk flagship, I guess. That's interesting. What do you think?
I think it's fine. I think you take it and then you keep your eye out for...
You think you take it? I think I take this after I've got a couple of Explorer.
Sure. I don't think you have to first pick it, though. I don't think everybody's going to take it.
So yeah, you just sort of see if it comes back? Okay. And that's it for the creatures. So what do you think of the set?
I'm excited.
You're excited?
I'm super excited. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed because there's some real kookiness going on.
Is there a particular tribe that stood out to you as looking fun?
Any of the top 3.
Yeah? Vampires, pirates, merfolk, dinosaurs?
I mean, vampires because I really like red and white and black and...
Well, there's no vampires in red.
No, but there's black and white.
Yeah.
I love red. So there's dinos.
Dino pirates.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. Red as a color seems really strong.
Okay.
Green looks really cool.
Okay.
And I've not played much green, so maybe this will be the set that... Like, last set was the set that I played more blue than I ever have. This set may be the set that I finally start playing some green. So...
The 2 color combinations that there were no uncommons for, The black-green, it looks like there may be a deck in Exploring, dependent on those 2 uncommons that when you explore, you do this other thing. In white-blue, it looked like Flyers might be possible, although there's nothing really to support it outright. Although I think if you first pick a Jace, you're going to want to try to pair it with white and then do the blue-white skies thing. That's what I'm thinking of as the indicator that you should go blue-white skies, but I guess we'll see. This was our creature review for Ixalan. Tomorrow we'll be posting the non-creature spell review. That'll cover removal, combat tricks, all of the other weird shenanigans that might be going on in the set. And we have spent the time to put together the metrics, so we'll be doing a little bit more general creature information, like the average power and toughnesses, before we get into tomorrow's removal. So in the meantime, thanks very much for watching, or if you're listening on the podcast, thanks very much for listening to our creature review of Ixalan.